What is up, good people? You are about to join me on a little experience right now that we're going to call Fantasy Football Stock Market, where you, the people, decide who is the top ranked player at their position, and we do it through a voting system. And the stock market closes in 13 minutes and 48 seconds. So as you can see the timer here, we will be voting on all of the player values that you see in front of your face right now. Who are the top wide receivers go forward week 7 on? You decide, you vote. The Fantasy Football Show 8 p.m. Monday through Friday show edition begins right now, pal. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. We're also live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. And this is the stock market show. Let me see if I've got the right graphic here. And I am saving that right there. Okay, right in front of your face are the wide receivers really that we kind of feel are the consensus top 10, and I've got more players to vote on the list. But go to the description of this video right now, and you are going to be voting on all of these players right in front of your face right now. You can see the votes tallying up as we speak. Vote for each one of the wide receivers in the description. The stock market will close in T-minus. Let me fix this timer right here. T-minus, let's see here. We'll put it at 12 minutes and 10 seconds. The market will close. Once the market closes, these numbers will be tallied, and we will have your top 10 wide receivers going forward heading into the remaining week 7 through 17. You guys decide. You guys decide who are the best wide receivers go forward. 11 minutes and 50 seconds left on the ticker here before the market closes and the bell rings. Ding, ding, ding. And you know the bell. We got the bell right over here. I will ring the bell in 11 minutes and 37 seconds. So come file on in. Roshan out. Start Ingram or Freeman. Probably Ingram for now, Young, but that's a tough call. There's no good choice there. First super chat of the day gets a standing O, by the way. That's my boy. That's my boy, Young. Appreciate Young filing on in with the super chat to kick the show off. Let's see what the tally's at right now. Looking at the screen. Right now, we've got Tyreek Hill, wide receiver 1, with an overwhelming vote. We got Jamar Chase getting the number 1 overall vote. I think some of you don't understand what's going on here. Wide receiver 1. Let's see here. Come on. How we voting Jamar Chase is the wide receiver 1? Are we really? Cooper Kupp the number 2. Someone's voting strangely on a couple of these. Don't worry, the masses will iron it out. The masses will iron it out. Jamar Chase is wide receiver 1 according to a few of you. Jeez. Okay, Cooper Kupp wide receiver 2. Tyreek Hill wide receiver 1. Looks like we got a tie. Look, Jamar Chase can be. I shouldn't say that. I love Jamar Chase, and I love Jamar Chase walking into the season as the number 1. But I think at this point it's hard to argue that Tyreek Hill's not the number 1. That's all I mean. I don't mean any disrespect to Jamar Chase, but as of this moment right now, with Burrow still having the calf injury and all that, I just don't see how Chase is gonna rival him. Wide receiver number 3 is looking like Stephon Diggs. Wide receiver number 4. We don't really have a 4. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown coming in at 5. We got Devontae Adams at 11, leading the way. Puka at 10. CeeDee Lamb coming in at 9. Jefferson at 10. Olave is not even, he's straight across he looks like he's wide receiver. Somebody voted 2. Get out of here. Get out of here with your 2 vote. Keenan Allen, look, we're going to require everybody voting here so we don't have a bunch of people screwing this up. So hit the vote hard, hit the vote strong, and let's bring it in. Tyreek Hill currently has 83% of the votes. Someone said not top 10. Way to waste your vote, Sally. Way to waste your vote, Steven. Good job. How do you feel right now? Does that feel great? Because you're not going to put a dent in it, pal. You're not going to put a dent into it at all. Where do you vote, Niner Rick? Where do you think, Niner Rick? Where I told you to vote in the description of the video. Appreciate you, Niner Rick, for being here. Let's see here. DeBalt dropping a $5 hauler. Dynasty team having to start a skeleton crew this week. A lot of people are. Surprisingly, I'm still going to get a median win, and have a shot at an actual dub. Got to hold that number one spot. Appreciate you, DeBalt. If you've got any dilemmas, bring them in strong. The market closes in 8 minutes and 32 seconds, so get your votes in, ladies and gentlemen. Jamar Chase still getting that 7-5 vote as being the wide receiver 1. Tyreek Hill, clear wide receiver 1 votage going on right there. Wide receiver 3 is clearly Stephon Diggs at this point. Well, technically speaking, he's wide receiver 4 because Chase is also getting those wide receiver votes. But Tyreek Hill will be the 1A if this ends up going the way it's going. Cooper Kupp, number 2. Wide receiver 4, Amon-Ra St. Brown coming in strong with that wide receiver 4 action. Puka Nacua is getting a 12 vote. Adams, majority votes going toward the 11. Chris Olave, the 10. We got a few more too in the chat. We got like Ayuk, and there's a plethora of players that are still listed in the description. But this will be interesting to see where it all shakes out. 90% of the Tyreek Hill votes are that he's the number 1 wide receiver. So yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that we can adjust this right here and say that Tyreek Hill is going to close at the bell as the wide receiver 1 right there in the corner, top right corner. It appears Cooper Kupp is going to at least be 2 or 3, that's for sure. But the question will be, does Jamar Chase still hang in that 1 spot with Tyreek Hill? He'll rank below Hill, but there will be a tie. The majority of the votes that Hill's getting, though, far outweigh the Jamar Chase votes. So Hill will rank ahead of him in that tie. Wide receiver 3, Diggs. Wide receiver 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wide receiver 4, A.J. Brown is coming in at wide receiver 4 now. Amon-Ra at wide receiver 5. And it looks like, do we have a 6? We don't have a 6. We have a 7, right? We have a 7 in Keenan Allen. We have a 9 in CeeDee Lamb. We have a 10 in JJ. We have a 12 in Puka. We have an 8 in Devontae Adams. Coming in strong. You guys are doing a good job here. Keep the votes coming in. We've got over, on this Tyreek Hill situation, we got over 53 votes, wide receiver 1. We got almost 70 votes on most of these questions already in just a short period of time. But closing bell is in 6 minutes and 4 seconds. So make sure you file on in, ladies and gentlemen, and get your vote on. Get your vote on. Jamar Chase is still getting voted as the wide receiver 1 in his poll. So, but again, he's getting less votes, so he's gonna linger on down to that number 2 spot. But with the wide receiver 1 label, tied. It'll be tied, but advantage goes to Tyreek Hill. Let me see what some of you are saying in the chat right now while we're voting this out. You think Henderson is worth the pickup? Yeah, I think he's worth the pickup. I think that's he's definitely worth the pickup. Appreciate you all being here. File on in, hit that like button. Any other thoughts on Foreman or Godwin? I don't know, Jacob. I guess Godwin. Foreman's okay. Foreman's probably safer, maybe. I don't know. Those aren't great. Those aren't great options. Puka is number 1. That's not correct, David, but thank you for... He's not number 1 on his team. Cooper Kupp's number 1 on his team. But he is a top 10, top 12 wide receiver, no doubt about it. Kareem Hunt is not going to play, says Young. I don't know if that is for sure or not right now. I've been cooking up a few things right here, and I don't know if anything came through. Let me just look real quickly and see if there's anything. Kyler Murray is out for Sunday. We knew that was going to be the case. Players ruled out for Sunday. David Montgomery. Let me see if there's any other players of note. Justin Fields. Roshan Johnson. Pat Freiermuth. Kyron Williams. Jalen Guyton, Justin Watson, Kyler Murray, Greg Dulcich. The guy can't stay healthy. Blankenship, Ramsey. I don't see Hunt on that list yet, my broski. Let's go back. Closing bell, 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Looks like Jamar's holding strong. Well, not yet. I guess one vote. Holding somewhat strong with the wide receiver one vote, but by one, whereas Tyreek Hill's dominating his votes with 91%. Cooper Kupp has 7 number 1 overall wide receiver votes, 9 number 3 wide receiver votes, 6 number 5 wide receiver votes. Jamar Chase has 10 number 2 wide receiver votes, and he's the clear number 2 though, because he's got an overwhelming amount of wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 votes. Cooper Kupp does have 7 number 1s though. Terry R says, Smitty, see you came around on Cooper Kupp. Can I get my apology? What are you talking about? What are you even talking about? Do you even know what you're saying? Do you even know what you're saying right now? Come around on Cooper Kupp. Where's my apology for being 100% right on Cooper Kupp? What are you talking about? Your boy called this to a T. That he was in a void on draft day. He was in a void and a buy low once he was on his way coming back around, Terry. You didn't get any of it right. I got 100% of it right. You got 100% of it wrong. So here's your apology. Unreal. Unreal. The goal on some people. To think they've got something pegged. 2 minutes and 8 seconds left until the market closes and the bell rings. The closing bell, 1 minute and 59 seconds. Get your votes in. People are sometimes so funny, man. I mean, just insane. I tell you, I'm right about. I'm so glad you came around. I'm so glad you came around, Smitty. I'm so glad that he finally got healthy and we bought low on him as he's coming back to form while everybody else spent top dollar on him. So glad to see you came around on him, Smitty. Just like I came around on Eckler when I said avoid Eckler. Don't go near Eckler. Let someone else draft Eckler. And then we come in and we steal Eckler. Okay, here we go. Closing bell, 55 seconds. Jamar Chase dropped to wide receiver 4. Unbelievable. He was just at number 2. Unreal. Unreal. Closing bell in 35 seconds. It's going to be Hill at 1. It's going to be Kupp at 2. It's going to be Diggs at 3. Chase at 4. Amon-Ra at 5. In the exact order I listed it here so far. I put Jefferson in the top right corner. We got Amon-Ra and A.J. Brown tied at 4. Oh, wait, hold on. Amon-Ra at 5, A.J. Brown at 4, and Chase at 4. So AJB tied at 4. Closing bell. Closing bell. Closing bell. Closing bell. Some votes might trickle in. Some votes might trickle in. JJ not in the top 10. Number 7's Keenan Allen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7's Allen. 8 is Adams. 9 is Lamb. 7 is Keenan Allen. 4 AJ Brown. 8 Adams. 9 Lamb. Okay. So there we have it. And I don't see... And Puka's 12. 12 is Puka. Okay, I'm writing it down right here. Let's go back to the main screen. Unbelievable. So wide receiver 1, closing bell locked in. Puka Nacua didn't make the top 10. But Cooper Kupp is number 2. Wide receiver 2. Cooper Kupp number 2. Jamar Chase ends up with wide receiver 4 tied. Wide receiver 4 tied. He's tied with AJB. Wide receiver 4 tied. Smitty is the most irritating analyst on here. He is prideful and has extremely bad takes. Okay, well, see you, Brandon. You don't need to be here if you don't want to. No one's forcing you. Now you can go on your way. You can feel free. Free, Brandon. Brandon, you're free. Go fly. Go fly.
You raise me up so I can stand on my own.
Go be free. Go be you. Okay, this right here, Diggs is what? Let's see. Diggs is number 3, wide receiver 3. Amon-Ra is 5. Man, that bell gives me a migraine every time. Why do I ring it? I need to put like a duct tape around it or something. My head's ringing. My head's ringing. Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen is wide receiver 7. Devontae Adams is wide receiver 8, according to the people. CeeDee Lamb is wide receiver 9. And technically speaking, the way that I did this, the 2 ties should really put Amon-Ra at 6. So I kind of have to redo this to make sure I'm actually writing it correctly. So Amon-Ra goes from 5 to 6. Diggs goes, let's see, Amon-Ra goes to 6. 7. Keenan Allen goes to 8. Adams goes to 9, and Lamb goes to 10. The way that this is going to work out, Lamb goes to 9, Lamb goes to 10. What do we have here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who's 7 then? We didn't have a 7, did we? 7 was Allen. So essentially, I guess we would do, because we didn't actually have a 7 vote. We just, the vote skipped over it, so it was 4, 5, 6. So Allen would be 7 at that point then. Okay, sorry. This is taking me a minute to tally it. 7. Adams would be 8. 9 would be Lamb, and Puka would be 10. Technically speaking. And Puka kind of shares this with probably Ayuk and a couple of the other players, Olave, so wide receiver 10. According to you, the people, and JJ was not top 10. He was voted not top 10. There it is. There it is. That's pretty interesting, though. You know, that's a pretty good, solid ranking. We're talking about hundreds of votes. Hundreds and hundreds of votes. I think on the JJ vote, if we go back, and things could have changed because we hit the bell. JJ had over 80 votes total. 70, 80 votes. I don't show you all of the options there. There are other options. Cooper Kupp had probably, it looks like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 votes. Same thing with the rest of the individuals on here. Looks like Chase came back to the wide receiver 1, though, which is really interesting. Technically speaking, maybe we redo this because Chase returned to wide receiver 1. So Cooper Kupp was wide receiver 2. Technically 3. You know, the closing bell happened, though. But this is crazy. This is crazy that it's all updating. Puka went to 12, not top 12. Adams went to 8. A.J. Brown went to 4. Keenan Allen was 7. Olave 13. Jefferson, wow. Crazy. What a fun little exercise, though. I think we should maybe potentially do this on the regular. Kind of why I rolled it out. You know, it's kind of why I rolled it out, just to see. Let's see here. What else we got? The Dolphins are the greatest show on surf. Absolutely. Dolphins look fantastic, bro. It feels good to have gotten the number 2 wide receiver Cup in round 2. Still no apology, huh, Terry? Terry, I forgive you. I forgive you, Terry. You don't need to apologize. You don't need to apologize. I forgive you. It's okay, bro. You don't need to worry about it. Wide receiver 1, Puka. Chase 2. That's wrong, David, but that's okay. All right, appreciate you all. Let's hit these super chats. We got a couple that came in here. Sure Adversity says trade my Tyreek and Rashad White for Eckler and DJ Moore. Tyreek and Rashad White for Eckler and DJ Moore. I would probably take Tyreek and Rashad White, but I would try and trade Rashad White. But it's a very tempting trade. Like, Eckler's got the bye week out of the way. DJ Moore still got a lot of value. You know, I don't know. Maybe I would go. It depends on your depth, bro. If you needed the trade because you couldn't win with Tyreek, I'd do the deal for Eckler. But if you're winning, like, why try and fix what isn't broken? You know what I'm saying, bro? And this one from Dustin, $10 hauler. All $10 haulers get a moonshot. My boy Dustin coming in strong. And we're going to talk about this in a minute. I just dropped a video on this, but we're going to briefly touch on these guys here. Non-PPR, 2 running back, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex. I get Kupp and Madison, trade away Ridley and Brees. I would rather have Kupp and Madison for now, but that doesn't mean that other side won't do well. I just think that you will want to get Ridley free right now because people are giving him away. I'd rather have the Kupp side. I think you could get more for Kupp, and I don't like Madison, but I think that side of the trade feels just stronger, and you could figure out a way to supplement at the other position. Eckler and Mike Evans for CMC. I'd rather have CMC. I don't think you can make that trade. CMC is just a player you don't really trade, broski. It's just not a smart move unless you're getting a ton. Musgrave or Mayer, I go Mayer going forward, I think. I really like Mayer right now. Smitty is still my number 1 fantasy show by far. Appreciate you, Terry. And I still appreciate you. Is Pacheco a top 10 running back in this climate? Absolutely. Absolutely. Kupp gets so many targets. He's definitely top 3. For sure is going forward. Doesn't mean that he was worth the draft selection that you waited until week 7 to use him. You know, I think that's what Terry's missing. But fantastic buy low for weeks, Terry. I don't know if Terry's been here. I don't think Terry's been watching the last 3 episodes of buy Cooper Kupp on the low. I just don't think he's been here. I don't think he understands the revolving door of buy low, sell high side, or buy low, sell high that we talk about here all week long, every week. I traded Puka for Pollard and Freiermuth. I'd definitely take Pollard, especially if you need an RB, my broski. This is from 4TW. Appreciate you. Trades to make. Already not going to win this week because of buys, and ETN popped off for him. Will be 3 and 4. Love how CMC, Mixon, Wilson Jr., Chase, Godwin, Johnson, Musgrave, Ferguson. I honestly believe your team has some good components, but I don't think it's a team that's going to win it all. So you unfortunately have to, first of all, I sell Mixon for Achane, I sell Mixon for JJ, I sell Mixon for whatever. You're 3-4, so you could actually wait on JJ. You'd be the one person I could say, you know what, actually sell Mixon for him. But you could sell Mixon for Aaron Jones. You could sell Mixon for Devontae Smith. And then I would sell CMC for 2 players, bro. But they'd have to be massive. You're talking about Mahomes and a player. You're talking about Hurts and a player, Tua and a player. And I'm talking a big player. You know, like you could get Diggs and Tua. You could get, and that's not, maybe not even enough. You know, Achane and a top 5 wide receiver, you know, for CMC. You'd have to do something along those lines. But I do believe you got to do something. I don't know that team's going to win it all. However, don't destroy it, because you never know. All you have to do is get in the playoffs and win 1 game at a time, and you never know how the dice will, you know, roll on that. Smitty, sounds like Watson will play with the Bruzy Poo, which is good for the Browns skill players. Jerome Ford over Stevenson this week. Probably Ford over Stevenson if you want safety, but yeah, it sounds like Watson was watching the show when I was ripping into him. He didn't like that, so he said, I'll go ahead and practice with my Bruzy Poo. A little tiny bruise, He went and got it massaged out, and, you know, he's been taken care of, so he's good to go. Smitty the GOAT, Amon-Ra St. Brown, vote disrespect, ? I don't know, you guys voted it. Should be 3-4, and Ken Walker goes for 200 plus total yards and a hat trick. Go Hawks, appreciate the work. Thank you, Thomas. It was voted by the people. And the people said Amon-Ra St. Brown was number, where is it? Let's go back to the vote. Amon-Ra St. Brown was number wide receiver. Would he come in at 6? It did change after the bell sounded, and Amon-Ra did end up finishing number 5. But that was before the bell rang. And Jamar Chase is back at number 1, which is crazy. Diggs, Swift, Cousins, KJ for Barkley, DK, Burrow, Higgins. I'd rather have Diggs, Swift, Barkley, DK, Burrow, Higgins. Man, I think I'd probably rather have the Barkley, DK, Burrow, Higgins side, but I do try and trade Barkley on the high. I'm not a big Barkley believer go forward, so I definitely would potentially make a move. 4-2 Dynasty, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 4 flexes offered. Keenan from a tanking team for Judy. And a 24 second. I could care less about seconds and thirds if you can potentially have, you know, a player that can help you win. And it looks like you got a good enough team to maybe make that work. So absolutely give up seconds and thirds to get a Keenan Allen to win. Not to mention Keenan Allen still probably has 1 more good year if he can manage to stay healthy all year. Then I would say 1 more year, even if he's spotty, like he gets hurt for 2 or 3 games or whatever, that's still good for a 2nd or 3rd rounder. Week 10 bye gonna suck for a lot of people, says Manny. True, as does this week. This is a pretty bad week for a lot of people. But you know what? We could trade for players that have had their bye week already coming off of this week and take advantage of some panic Peters that might be sending some players on the go, because they're looking at a 1-6 record in the face, or a 0-7 or a 2-win type of season, and they might just send them packing. Klondike says so much Barkley hate. It's not Barkley hate, bro. It's just reality of that situation. They've got a revolving quarterback situation that's really bad. Their offense doesn't move the football down the field. He doesn't get properly utilized until the 4th quarter, if that even happens. And if they're down, they're going to be throwing the ball. And while he can catch, they don't throw to him enough, in my opinion. I think it's more about just getting better, proper value. That's all. That's all. It has nothing to do with anything else than that. Watson walked into the spa and that place cleared out quick, says Ricardo. Thinking of CMC will play Monday. I think he probably will play, but they're not going to let us know.
And similar songs.
Ziggy off. Ziggy, will Christian McCaffrey play week number 7? Let's see if he's worth anything. He doesn't even answer. Ziggy, is Christian McCaffrey injured?
Christian McCaffrey is currently listed as questionable with an oblique injury.
Sepsis, appreciate you. Trade CD for Achane and Kirk. I would take Achane and Kirk personally. I have Mostert. Is it a win? I think it's a win, but there's pros and cons to it, but I personally would rather have that Achane side. I mean, Kirk's playing good enough that you do that trade. Smitty, so you're thinking trading CMC for a big return over selling Chase for a big return? I didn't necessarily say that. I'm saying you could do both. You know, it depends on which one can garner more. I would trade maybe both of them. It's not that you can't win. I just think you have an opportunity. If anybody has an opportunity to sell, like they look in the mirror and they say, my team's not the best team. It's not even the top 2 or 3 team. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it. If you feel differently, you're the one looking at all the other rosters. So only you can answer that question. But you might want to explore trading CMC for an Achane and a top 4 wide receiver. Trading or Achane and Mahomes, because the guy that has Mahomes happens to have two good quarterbacks, and this is a 1 QB league, you know, and Achane. Like that kind of move. And then you take Jamar Chase and turn him into Devontae Smith and another player, or Chase into Eckler and a wide receiver, you know. And it depends on the wide receiver, but if you can take 2 guys and turn them into 4, and you have monsters, not just mediocre 4 players, like you're buying low, you're doing amazing buy low and selling high type negotiating. It's not great, but not the worst. I feel like I can turn it around with the right moves. That's what I'm saying. If you make these right moves, you might have the best team in the league. But you have to make the right moves. That's buying low and selling high is it can turn your fortunes around like that. It could also tank you if you do the wrong moves. But if you get Mahomes and Achane and even something else for Christian McCaffrey, and you're 3 and 4 or whatever, and you stay afloat, and you get a top 5 running back in Achane, you get a top 1 to 2 quarterback in Mahomes, and I do believe he'll play that way. You take Jamar Chase, you turn him into Eckler and a wide receiver like Waddle or something, then, you know, or even the flip side, if we say go get using CMC, you're getting Diggs and Mahomes and you're giving up your quarterback or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of ways to do it, but CMC and Hill are 1 and 2 overall. They do command. You can ask for a Diggs and something. You can ask for an Amon-Ra St. Brown and another player very close to Amon-Ra. You can ask for a Pollard and a Amon-Ra-like player for Christian McCaffrey, and maybe you're required to throw something in, but you have that ability. Bijan's another buy low. Bijan needs to be put on this list as well. I didn't have him on the buy low convo in the video I posted. He should have been, and we'll talk about him now, though, plenty. So it's not like anybody's going to miss the boat on it. Bijan is also one of the best buy lows right now in fantasy because his owners are just ready to give up on him. They're thinking to themselves, it's never going to happen. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe we're just blinded by it all. And there's that possibility. I at least can admit that. But I also can admit that if they feed him, he can, just like Fields went from 3 horrible games in a row in weeks 1, 2, and 3 to just 2 games, monster games, being the top 2 quarterback back-to-back weeks in week 4 and 5. He was the top 5 quarterback across the board. He climbed all the way up. And if Bijan starts playing like a monster, let's say he waits until week 9. I forget when his bye week is. He waits until week 9, assuming that's not his bye week. I don't have it in front of me. Literally could still be a top 5 running back at the end of the season. If he didn't get unleashed until maybe a couple weeks from now and did okay this week, he's still hovering inside that, like, depending on your scoring, that 10 range. You know, Bijan could absolutely be a top 5 running back at the end of the year, if not top 4 at the end of the year, even if he waited 2 more weeks to explode. So buying low on Bijan's It's good business if you're in need. If you're not in need, why do anything? You know, I always take a great offer. I'll always improve my team, even if I'm winning. But I mean, you don't need to go out and take a risk if your team's balling out. No one should trade Diggs if they're balling out and the offer they're getting isn't just way better, obviously, clearly better. Or nobody should trade CMC if you're balling out. Nobody should trade Tyreek Hill if you're a baller team and the offer's not clear as day better. Why take a risk? But if you own a player like Christian McCaffrey and you honest inventory, honest look, reflection in the mirror, don't love your team, Bijan and Mahomes can be had for Christian McCaffrey. Evans and Ridley for Keenan Allen, or same for Adams. Evans and Ridley for Keenan Allen, or same for Adams. I'd rather keep Adams by a hair. Evans and Ridley probably not enough for Keenan at this moment in time. I'd say I understand the offer, but I think you're using Ridley on his old value, not to suggest I believe that he's droppable like everybody else is running out there right now. I don't agree with that. I think he was blanketed in this game. He had tough coverage. We knew he was going to be blanketed and potentially could bust this week, but people just want to look around that and say he's garbage, he's a trash can. And I get that, but you also have to recognize the fair market value that Ridley has right now. And this guy's trying to sell you Ridley pre-panic mode. So the answer is injured Evans, bad playing Ridley, well playing Keenan Allen. He's trying to work you, Bryson. And there's no way you trade Adams either. He's trying to work you. He's trying to work you over as if the fair market value isn't sitting right in front of you. Isn't it crazy that Jamar Chase has 73 fantasy points through 6 weeks and my kicker, Jake Elliott, has 71 standard league? Yeah, he did start off really bad, bro. Really bad. Because Burrow started off bad, but it is crazy. It's a crazy year for sure. It's an insane season. This season is absolutely bonkers. These are the buy lows, ladies and gentlemen. I've talked about Bijan already. Achan, Smitty, he can't buy him low. Smitty, no one's selling him low. Smitty, no one. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. I'm seeing it every hour on the hour. Stop with the old. It's not working in my league. Okay, maybe not in your league. Everybody's got different situations. You know, the Miami Dolphin fan owns him in your league. That's probably why. But Achan, if he's on a team that's got 2 wins, 3 wins, or less, they are susceptible and weak and vulnerable to a trade of Achan away to try and get something for the now. Because this guy's still going to miss 3 more weeks, including this weekend as one of them. And then a bye week. That's 4 weeks in a row, even though everybody has a bye week, unless, you know, you've had a bye week already, like your Walker or Eckler. But Achan is feeling like he's going to leave his owners hanging for 4 straight more weeks, right? Because he's not going to hit the field till the 5th week because of the bye week. And people can't afford to wait. That's what it comes down to. If the Achan owner is 5 wins into the season, then yeah, they can wait. If the Achan owner's got 2 wins, they might not be able to wait. Devontae Smith is going to bounce back. Buy him now. Everybody's trying to extrapolate what's going on in Jacksonville with Ridley over to Devontae Smith. Not everything's the same. And this guy's so upset at himself. He's going to be driven. And I think the rotation is more realistic in that situation in Philly than it is in these other situations where we're not sure, okay, there's 2 ones here, right? We don't know who's the number 1. Look, Devontae Smith is going to flip at times to be the number 1. A.J. Brown, love him. No one's saying A.J. Brown's not good. But this kid is still arguably a top 6 wide receiver in the National Football League. He's just not getting it done right now. That's why buy low season exists. There's a reason players are buy lows and sell highs, because everybody fluctuates. Not everybody's perfect out of the gate every single season. And sometimes a buy low player, eventually we do give up on. They don't bounce back. I don't think this is one of those players. Mahomes, same thing. And everyone can say no one's giving him up. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing people go, Smitty, do I trade Mahomes right now for Tua? And look, I love Tua. And I don't hate that idea if you could upgrade a mediocre wide receiver 3 into Devontae Smith and you get Tua for Mahomes. You do something creative like that. Or you get Achane and Tua for Mahomes. But people are asking me, hey, should I trade Tua for or trade Mahomes for Tua? Or hey, should I trade Kirk Cousins and this wide receiver that's kind of like a high-end wide receiver 3? Should I trade Mahomes for those two players? Because I need to make a move. I got to win this week. People use that I got to win this week as an excuse to get rid of a great player. Debo, Ayuk, tremendous value, a lot of risk, but the risk is baked in. Hurts, people still are doubting the hell out of him, regardless of whether he's kind of, skating by, scoring touchdowns, throwing an interception, run a touchdown, throw a touchdown. Still kind of doing it, but his owners are panicked. They're not liking the offense, and they're feeling skeptical about this man right here, so he's available. Tua, same guy I just talked about. He's a great buy low. Sometimes people overvalue him. Sometimes people don't. Amazon Joe dropping a super chat. Amazon, you said I missed your last super chat. I just don't know if you stepped out. We have a long show. Before yesterday's game, traded Chase to get JT Ridley and Amari Cooper. Guys in my league are saying I ended my season. What do you think? Okay. Before yesterday's game, you traded Chase to get JT Ridley and Amari Cooper. I don't think this is an end of your season move. Like, even though Ridley's garbage to everybody and their mother right now, I still believe there's a world where he bounces back and is a great player for you. I know a lot of people just think I'm hanging on to whatever. That's fine. Look, I get it. Not everybody's going to agree, but you didn't sell your entire season, bro. I mean, you still got JT. The problem with this trade, though, is Chase is the best player in the deal, and JT hasn't got on his horse yet. And the fact that Ridley is not playing well yet, the fact that Cooper has Watson's situation kind of lingering and feeling a little bit in flux. So there's a lot of potential to get very little, this week, maybe even out of this entire trade. But then again, if JT does get back on his horse very quickly, Amazon, it's not that bad of a trade. Jamar Chase's 140-point game with no touchdowns and 3 receptions for 40 yards away from everybody going, yeah, I don't even know how to value him anymore. You got to remember, people were not even sure that he was a top 7 wide receiver after 3 weeks of football. And then all of a sudden, everyone's back on the Jamar Chase train. So I would say you didn't get worked over. Your season didn't end, but you do need JT or Ridley to kind of mirror what Amari Cooper's been doing for this to feel good at the end of the day. But I don't think you got worked over hardcore. Would I have done it? I don't know that I would have done the trade. But it was a good trade. It still is a good trade in from some angle. Some angles, it's still got some positives. I wouldn't fret too much. Are we buying Fields? Saw he would not need surgery. I don't know that I'd be buying Fields, but I certainly would be maybe hesitant to go sell the farm for a quarterback. If Fields is your quarterback, you almost need to maybe bank on that. But I don't know if I'm buying him, bro. Injured, it worries me. I like him. I still think Fields has potential. I think that Chicago really screws him up at times. The play calling, the coaching. I don't know. I think injured is not a great look right now. I don't know that I'm going and acquiring him. If you're in shambles at quarterback and you can get him cheaply, sure. But if you're buying him as a top 5 or 6 quarterback, no. If you're getting him as like near a free option because you're playing with the house's money on a waiver pickup or something, sure. That I'm okay with. Trade Hawkinson for Aaron Jones. I have Pitts on the bench. Other running backs are Bijan, Stevenson. I would say no at this moment in time because I do believe Hawkinson has... I don't know. This one's tough because if Aaron Jones does get healthy, I think that side does win. I'll put it that way. If you're willing to take a risk and you can kind of weather the storm a little bit, and maybe Bijan, Stevenson, and Evans does weather for you, I just don't know if Pitts is going to be consistent. I would say this is a safer play on the Hawkinson side, higher risk but higher reward on the Aaron Jones side. So I won't say no. I would just say there's two sides to this coin, and there's no real legit answer. It's kind of like, do you like dice rolling, bro? And do you feel good about Pitts? If you do, I get it. Maybe make sure Mayer's not available. Would I rather have Mayer and Pitts together with Aaron Jones than just Hawkinson? The answer is yes. So I don't mind. I don't mind the move. It's just, it is high risk. Know that. You know, you could be here going, obviously, genius, look how good I did. Or you could be in here going, my season's over because Aaron Jones isn't playing next week again or something like that. Travis, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. Could I just run a trade by you real quick? I just wanted your opinion on it.
Yeah.
So I would be giving up DK Metcalf, Travis Kelce, Jerome Ford, Josh Downs, and Kyler Murray.
Okay.
And I'd get Diggs, Hawkinson, Waddle, and Spears.
Wow.
And I have Laporta at tight end as well.
Okay. So you're giving up DK and Kelsey. The way I look at this is Diggs is a little bit more valuable than Kelsey just by a hair. And therefore it comes down to like Waddle and DK being pretty even. And the fact that you have like Hawkinson versus the rest of this, and I assume you don't need to start Kyler Murray, and I assume this is redraft.
Yeah, I have T.Y. and Love right now, and there's guys like Stafford and Howell on waivers too.
Well, I would say that like K1 might be better. I do like Love a lot. I think Love he could suffice, but I would say like this is a little bit of a, like if you had a different quarterback, I would say, oh yeah, easy, just throw K1 in, but K1 could be the best quarterback on your team. It's tough to say.
So if I can get away with not trading Kyler, do that then.
I mean, I'm not saying no to it. I'm just saying because I do like Love enough, but if you could give like T-Law away instead, I think it's tough to give away Love because, well, I mean, you could roll with T-Law. Look, everyone's really hard on T-Law.
Well,
everybody's super hard on T-Law, and the thing is about T-Law is he played like 3 games in like 11 days, did he not? Or it was 11 days. It was 3 games, and there was 2 Thursday. Did he play 2 London games?
2 London games and a Thursday night game.
Yeah, 2 London games and a Thursday night game, and everybody is just like all over this guy and this team. And they won 2 of those 3 games, I believe, correct? I mean, this has been a pretty solid 3-game performance out of T-Law. And everyone's like, Smitty, you got blinders on for T-Law. And, I mean, the guy's done pretty good considering all that. I don't really understand the hate for him. So I don't hate that you'd have T-Law on K1 if you had to get rid of Love. But if you could throw T-Law in and keep Love, because Love's at his bye week already, I think everything's going to turn around for that offense. But either one, I'd rather you keep K1. I think keeping K1 makes a big difference. I don't know that changes it for me. I think the fact that you're getting TJ Hawkinson and Spears essentially for like these 2 guys when you could literally wash these 2 parts of the trade, you know, DK, Kelsey, Diggs, Waddle, you could literally wash that if you wanted. You're making out on the deal with TJ, I think. But
yeah. So, well, I have to start Love this week anyways, but the reason for me trying to get Diggs is because right now all I'm rolling with is basically DK and Pickens at running back. At wide receiver. I have good running backs. You see the quarterbacks I have, and I have Laporta at tight end too.
Yeah, you might need to make another additional trade because of your 2 tight ends, because people are struggling for a tight end, and you'll be able to get a deal done.
Yeah. All right. So ultimately, if I can get away with not trading any of the quarterbacks and like throw in another bench piece or something, because people don't value Kyler very high yet in my league right now.
Yeah, I'd much rather give up like a bench piece and do something along those lines for sure, bro.
Okay. All right, cool. Thanks, Smitty.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
Later.
All right, we got some supers here. Jay, you got 30 because I get to these supers. I got somebody that just dropped a $50 hauler in Ricardo. And then I've got Hunter with a $5 hauler and Castles with a $2 hauler. So you got 30 seconds, Jay. Hit me with it.
Got you. Appreciate it, Smitty. Question, trade offer. Ramondre Stevenson and Zay Flowers for David Montgomery.
I don't need to use my marker board for that. Okay, so Ramondre Stevenson and Zay Flowers for D-Mont.
Correct.
Pros and cons. I mean, Stevenson could bounce back, and he did score. There's some thoughts that they say to themselves, with the quarterback in shambles right now, position in shambles, we got to run the ball. And, could Stevenson rebound beyond rebounding? He could. There's that chance, man, but I think I roll with the guy Monty that once he gets back, he's being fed. Top 5 to 7 running back volume. I would say Monty. Worst case scenario, Monty and Stevenson are the same. That's your worst case scenario. The only difference is you're waiting on Monty. But how many games are you really going to wait? I sense it's going to be one. I sense Gibbs is going to get one start. The way that this rolls for him is bad luck with Monty coming back early. But even if it was 2 games, I mean, it might take Stevenson that many games to get consistent anyway. Monty for me. Appreciate you, man. Dial back in when the phone lines are open. Okay, Ricardo, appreciate you with the $50 hauler. Ricardo to the freaking moon.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Tries today, baby. We're doing tries today. Any $20 hauler. Actually, I owe him another because that's a 50.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Burn, the burn, baby, the burn. Fields, Dak, Watson, Kupp, Chase, Evans, Hopkins, good wide receivers, running backs, Jacobs, Mostert, Monty, Goddard. I'm 3-3 standard. Who can I trade for H-Hand? Jacobs. Do it live. Monty for H-Hand. I'd do either one of those personally. Hopkins and Ford. Hopkins and Stevenson. Tried for Eckler, Walker, Kamara, JT. Nobody's budging. Try those, bro. I think you could maybe get a combo of those things done. Jacobs for sure for H-Hand. Of course, try and ask for more as well. On top of that, your boy's out of breath. Your boy is out of breath, bro. $5 hauler. Trading Gibbs and Waddle for Walker and Sharps.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Look, I mean, your bye week's out of the way. You got both players. Walker's going to have a monster game against the Cardinals. Start Moss or Ingram. I'm going to go with Moss until... Yeah, I'm going to go Moss. I mean, Ingram's interesting, but he's not a great play. Love this show. Thank you, Smitty. Appreciate you, Jay. Jay to the moon. And that is all of the super chats at the moment. I'll answer them in order in which they roll in. Look, I know I don't have the definition yet that I want, but your boy's getting some cannons in here. They're just not defined yet. I'm a little disappointed. I think it's because I need to do more try work and shoulder work, but I feel like I am getting swole. I'm hitting walls when I walk around corners. I'm not used to the wide load that I got going on here, but I need to start running and mixing that in to get some cardio to drop some LBs, to cut down, drop LBs, cut down. But I'm doing a lot of reps to try not to bulk up. I don't want to bulk up. I want to get cut. And this is stage 1. You know, when I run, mixing the cardio, I think the burpees will help. Dropped Elijah Moore for Wan'Dale Robinson. Madison or Robinson, probably Madison, but Lunchbox, that's a toss-up. I don't think either one of those guys is a great play, but I think Madison's okay in that situation. Just dropped a deuce. Smitty says Lunchbox. That's good job, pal. We're proud of you. Healthier foods. For me, it's cardio. It's not food. I know everyone says that. But for me, it's as long as I'm getting cardio with this, I'm gonna shred. I do a pretty good job not worrying about what I eat. And I do need to cut back on soda. That's the one thing, because the calories are through the roof on the soda. But past that, what I eat's not that bad. Bacon doesn't do anything to me. I ate a lot of eggs and bacon. Very little potatoes, but some potatoes. Chicken fingers. Doesn't matter to me. Protein bars, I don't need it. Food doesn't bother me. Food, it's more about just getting that cardio in with working out. Do you see my super chat? Says Austin. I mean, I think I answered it, Austin. Austin, did you see my Austin? Did you see my answer? Did you step out for a little potty break? Because I certainly answered this. Are we buying Fields? I saw he would not need surgery. I mean, I went on like a 2 or 4 minute tangent on this, and that's okay. I'm just letting you know I did take care of you. I'm not buying him. If I own him, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling like maybe I don't need to dismantle my team to get a quarterback in here, but it's a risk. But am I going after him? Not unless he's cheap. Not unless you're giving up House's money, waiver wire players that are playing well, extra bench players that are just, I can't find a room in my lineup like Pickens or something like that. I'm not giving up like big starting lineup pieces for him. I'd rather give that up for Tua, Burrow or something like that. I don't know that I'm buying him unless he's dirt cheap, my guy. You know what I'm saying? AJ over Bijan. Probably right now, Superfish, yeah. Jedi, $5 holler. Need a trade package to get Bijan for a 10-man Dynasty League. Is Kamara, B-Rob, and Christian Watson too much? Not in Dynasty, no. That's not too much. Kamara and B-Rob are not that much. They're not even that good of long-term options, you know. Christian Watson is, but that's not too much. I have Ramondre, Devontae Smith, Ridley, and Spears. I'd rather give up Ramondre than Watson, but, I mean, you got to do what you got to do. But that would be a good trade. That's not too much for Bijan in the Dynasty. Bijan is still going to be an absolute force, bro. Absolute fantasy football magician on the field. Austin, appreciate your super chat. Hopefully you heard that response. Any word on Jeff Wilson Jr.? Is he playing this week? I believe he will. So let me look up Jeff Wilson Jr. and just make sure there wasn't any update. Jeff Wilson Jr. So according to the last report, he's off the injury report. So there's no setback. So he should be good to go. Will he be activated? Probably. There's a chance he doesn't get activated, but I doubt that's the case. You got to monitor that. If he's activated, he's good to go, and then you're starting him. Because the top two running, he's going right back into the number 2 role behind Mostert. Trade Henry. This is a $10 hauler.
To the moon.
Definitely start Zach Wilson, or Jeff Wilson, not Zach Wilson. God, don't start Zach Wilson. Jeff Wilson if you own him and he's activated. Unless you hear like a major pitch count, which we'll have that going into, the morning games on the hour before kickoff live stream. Trade Henry, Pitts, and Godwin for Bijan and Kmet. I would take Bijan. Absolutely, bro. Abso-freaking-lutely. Trade is set. I just have to hit accept. If you're getting Bijan, I'm taking Bijan for Henry, Pitts, and Godwin. I think most people in here would. Is there risk? Yeah, on both sides, but there's a lot of risk on the Henry side. Henry could get traded too, but if he gets traded, probably gets traded and takes a couple weeks to adapt. And, you know, I don't know that it's going to be what everybody thinks it's going to be. He's going to be very helpful to the team that acquires him. But I don't know that he'll be a fantasy monster like Bijan can. Thoughts on my offer? Christian McCaffrey, Godwin for his Tua, Bijan, and DK. I would probably, if assuming your quarterback is garbage, I would be somewhat okay with this trade if you could not win with CMC. If your team is good enough to win with CMC, the way it is right now, and maybe you just need a quarterback maneuver, which you can do with Godwin and another piece, then I would probably hold on to CMC, bro. But if your team cannot win... Oh, so this is the same... I'm sorry, I didn't even put it together. This is the same team that had the Chase and CMC. Man. So what does everybody think of this trade right here? This is the guy... Let me pull up his team. And we'll look at his team. Deegan dropped this super chat earlier. Deegan has on his team, he's got Love, who I don't hate. I don't hate Love. He's got CMC, Mixon, and Jeff Will. And he's got Chase, Godwin, and that's really it. Does everybody like Deegan trading away Christian McCaffrey? Because his team, look, it's a good team. Like, good, but it's not by any means great. I don't know that this team's going to win. And I forget if he told us his record. He's 3-4. Are we thinking that if he traded away CMC... Let's not erase this. Let's just rewrite it over here. So Tua, Bijan, Mixon, who I would still trade for like Achan and something if you can. Jeff Will, Chase, DK, and who was the other piece that you'd be getting? Yeah, Tua, Bijan. Okay. Are we thinking he improved things right here? Going from this team to this team. Tua, Bijan, Mixon, Jeff Wilson, Chase, DK. From Love, CMC, Mixon, Jeff Wilson, Chase, Godwin. Is he improving enough to even make this trade? And if not, what does he need to do to try and maneuver this team into a... I don't know. Start 3, Evans, Amari, Addison, James Cook, Alex. I don't know. Evans, Amari, and probably Addison right now, but that's tough. I take the Bijan side. No, he trades CMC. His team becomes trash. Cecito trades Swift for Achan. Got to put in a waiver move before midnight, says Broom. I'm not trading CMC, says Anthony. Start DK or Devontae Smith. I would start Devontae Smith personally. Tua is not enough to lose CMC. Okay, so I guess I would say I kind of agree that you need a little more. And if you could maybe upgrade DK a little bit, then maybe I'd be interested in doing this trade. And then if you do it, you got to fully commit probably. And then I'm trying to trade, like I said, Chase for like an Achan and a Devontae Smith type of wide receiver. That would be phenomenal. So I would say I kind of agree with the chat. I would probably try and get a little more before I ink that one. you're getting there, Deegan. These are good ideas. I just don't know that that's the exact right one yet. But you're working in a good direction. New to the show, loving it. Thanks for what you do. Rick to the moon. First super chat, Rick to the moon.
To the moon.
And Rick, you're new to the show, so you don't realize this little weird thing we're doing here lately. Every time someone drops a $20 hauler, I get a set in today's tries, and I'm getting ripped in front of the show. The show is the reason I'm getting in shape. You guys are forcing me to work out. It's a great way to I think motivate us all to realize we can do it. I can do it. I'm doing it because I force myself to do it.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Feel the burn. Feel the burn. Robert, appreciate your $20 hauler. He says, shred up, Smitty. Robert to the freaking moon.
To the moon.
Thank you, my boy, Robert. Thank you, my boy. My boy, Robert. Coming in strong. Uh, 24 says Pacheco plus Godwin or Derrick Henry plus Watson. Wow. I'll probably say Derrick Henry plus Watson, taking the chance on Derrick Henry getting traded and being useful in Buffalo, and even if he isn't, I do think Watson will be near as equal to Pacheco. So I guess I'm just taking a gamble on that, but I'm not a big Derrick Henry believer on the year, but in that scenario, I probably would take the gamble. Achan is not worth anything. They never said what was wrong, says Juan. What? Hold on, Juan. What? Juan says Achan is not worth anything. What are you talking? Juan, call in. Juan, call in. What are you talking about, Juan? We're waiting for Juan to call in. What the hell are you talking about, bro? 2 and 4, trade JJ for Gibbs plus Ayuk. Not enough. Daniel, appreciate you being late to the party. Robert to the moon. JSN or Downs rest of season? Probably Downs for now, now. But I do believe Lockett and DK are both injured. It's a matter of time before I think JSN does get relevant. I don't see... Do you guys see Juan calling in? I don't see Juan calling in. Do you see Juan calling in? I don't hear Juan calling in. Do you hear Juan calling in? Juan! Don't make Lego Batman come in here and throw the bat signal up. By the way, Ridley never showed. Dial in. (773) caller. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Millie. On. Juan Leon. That's me. It's me. Dallas. it was a little bit of troll in there, but in a lot of predicaments, a hurt player like that, what, he's been out for a week? You got 3 more weeks I mean, if you trade for him, I guess you need to be, 5-1? Then you hope that he can take his spot back in the rotation. He's a rookie. They may settle down on him. If Mostert keep up the good work, then they won't have to use him like that. I never believed in trading for hurt people, especially a knee. Well, yeah. Well, that's why you have a show and I'm in the chat, the way we word things. So, yeah, I got Mostert, so I'm kind of, I got Mostert in the Tua stack. Yeah, I got the Mostert Tua stack over here.
Oh, my mic was muted. Damn it. Damn it. That was a good conversation, too. I must have hit my mic.
Here.
Son of a bee, bro. So anyway, Juan, let's back this up a minute. Juan, you were somewhat trolling, you said. I think everybody heard you.
When I say somewhat trolling, I just mean I keep hearing so much, go get Achane, and I think that the people that want to consider going to get Achane have more troubles than just putting a
but here's where I have
IR.
And again, I am okay with your stance the way you worded it when you came on here, but the way you worded it when you came on here wasn't the same as your question, and then the chat heard his response but not mine. That is just the wording, I guess. Whatever. Okay, so I chalk it up to that. I'm not going to go at you hardcore, but I will say that what you just said kind of mirrored this in that, like, people want to go after him. If you're telling me he isn't worth anything, then he's free or he's cheap and there's no risk in it. If anything, if I'm you and I own Mostert, which we got down to the nitty gritty of it, you have Mostert. You're rooting for Mostert. You got a biased lens on. You want Mostert right now to survive. But the thing is, they both coexist very well. And Miami runs the ball so much. No one running back, whether Achane goes down, guess what? You've got two other running backs maybe supplementing that work, but Mostert doesn't get any more work. Mostert's getting his work that he's allotted. And when Achane comes back, Achane's going to get his work that he's allotted. Mostert's getting his work that he's allotted. This offense is running over 220 yards on any given Sunday, and there's enough to go around. There's so much to go around. So my whole thing is, why not go after Achane? If he's worth nothing that you're finding, go get him and cuff him to your boy Mostert. You start Achane and Mostert on a weekly basis once he returns, you're getting two players inside the top 5 to 10.
I can see that. Well, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Well, I got CMC also, so I am in a predicament, sort of. Who do you think's worth more, Achane or JJ? Because we'll be back. They'll be back, what, week 9, week 10, get them back riled up for action, week 12. So you're looking at first week of playoffs, maybe second week of playoffs, they're finally back. You really believe that they can get back up to speed like that?
It's funny.
Because the Vikings might be done.
Well, it's funny you say that because JJ's more likely to not return. Achane is 0% chance going to not return unless he has a setback. They've already said that his injury will only keep him out the 4 games, one of which he's already served. So he's got 3 more games, then the bye week to heal up. So he'll be ready to go after that bye week. So Achane actually won't hit the field for 4 more. He'll be out 4 weeks going forward because of the bye week. JJ's probably out 6 games minimum from today.
Got you.
So you're talking about a 2-week difference right there, then and there, on top of if the Vikings are losing, and they won last week, let's be fair, then there's a high likelihood he doesn't come back. The Miami Dolphins are balling, bro. So Achane's coming back. You know, and could they take it slow with him to make sure he's good for the playoffs? Like, could I see them backing their foot off the gas, kind of like you said, like going away from him a little bit. Maybe, but at the same time, like, there's also something to being in a rhythm. And I don't think they just want to throw him to the wolves in week 12 or 14. Or like, I think that once he's ready to return, these are football players. Not everything is about, let's coddle him. Like, once you're ready to come back and you're balling out, Miami Mike wants him on the field.
Okay, let me ask you this question then, to sum it all up. I got CMC, Mostert, Chuba Hubbard, Alexander Madison. I'm firing up. I got Chris Olave, Christian Watson. I got Nico Collins, and Christian Kirk. What do you think I should give up? Oh, I got Tua and the boy from Houston, C.J. Stroud. What do you think I should give up to stash A-Chain in my IR? 12 PPR.
Well, you said he's not worth anything. Are you telling me the A-Chan owner is giving him up for nothing? Or is this guy...
He's losing bad.
Okay, so name your team off again. I don't think you're going to get him for nothing, though, bro. I think he's going to cost you an arm and a leg. But
when I say nothing, I didn't quite mean like he's trash. He's nothing to somebody who needs to win. You know, this thing could change at any second. You know the best.
But, bro, 4 games is going to be here before you know it. Not to mention, most players on your team have yet to serve the bye week, so it really is just 3 games. You got to look at it like 3 games. You can't look at it like 4. 3 games will be by before you know it. After this weekend, Monday will be here before you know it, and we'll be talking about 2 more games of H-Chan not playing. And then it's like, wow, that's really close. We're knocking on the door. But give me your team one more time.
Okay, I got CMC, Mostert, Alexander Madison, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Chuba Hubbard. I have Tua, C.J. Stroud. I got Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, Nico Collins, and Watson from Green Bay. Oh, and I got Cortland Sutton. A weak tight end.
Cortland Sutton.
Tight end is trash.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'm going to say, does the H-Chan owner need a QB?
I believe so. Yeah, he just lost Justin Fields.
Okay, so there you go. Now, granted, Fields is out this week, and you can't trade Tua. Stroud's on a bye, so I don't know how much you can help him this week, but maybe he's looking at Stroud as a nice, interesting piece to add. Would I trade Kirk for H-Chan in a millisecond? I don't care how good Kirk's playing. I would trade Kirk in a millisecond for H-Chan and put him on my roster. Would I trade Olave? I don't know that that's going to be smart for your team. Would I trade Watson? I probably would at the end of the day, because I do believe, probably unlike you, that once H-Chan's back, he's a top 5 running back. So I would trade Watson. I would give up Gibbs and Nico, Gibbs and maybe even Watson. I'd certainly throw Madison into any deal if it was Kirk and Madison. If you could get any of those deals done without touching Tua Tagovailoa, CMC, Mostert, and Olave, you're ahead of the game. But, I mean, that is assuming...
Okay, I trust you, Smitty. That's why I got Gibbs on 2 teams, and I got Bijan on my other team. I trust you.
I'm hoping those 2 pan out for you. I don't know if Gibbs will or will not this weekend. I mean, we definitely...
Well,
if he doesn't this week, we know they just don't want to use him. When they said, I forget if it was the OC or head coach that said it today, or yesterday, that I think, let me pull it up. This drove me nuts when I read it. Like, it was good news, but at the same time, it's like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? Let me read it word for word here. This is coming from...
was doomsday news to me.
It was it was good news, but it still bothers you the way that he's saying it. So it was Campbell. So Lions head coach Dan Campbell said Gibbs would take the load of rushing attempts in week 7, which, let's first of all give that a standing O. So that's fantastic. Okay, that's fantastic. But in that, he said, David Montgomery's out with the rib injury, and fellow backup Craig Reynolds is dealing with multiple injuries and listed as questionable. In line to see elite workload, Gibbs will rank as a low-end running back 1 against the Ravens. Now, Hold on, that wasn't the news I wanted to read. There was another piece here. Here we go. This is what it says right here. This is what drives me nuts. This absolutely drives me nuts. Let me see if I can have this be read as well. Hold on. No, I'll just read it off. This is from Campbell. Dan Campbell. I'd like to say we be careful with him, but in the reality is we need him, so we're going to have as far as we're going to go as far as he can take us. The fact that he said we want to be careful with him, have they said we want to be careful with Monty? Monty came back from what looked like a season-ending knee injury that ended up being a quad injury, where he twisted his knee and quad, and he came back like a week early, and they gave him a career high in carries and workload. They're not worried about Monty getting overfed, but like, we want to be careful with Gibbs, but he's our only running back, so we'll probably have to use him. Like, this is just ridiculous. But
Yeah,
the stars should align this week, and if they do, I really think we're going to all be like, someone needs to be, and you can't say this about a team that's winning like the Lions, but from a fantasy perspective, we're going to have people going, someone needs to be fired, because Gibbs is going to go nuts if he's given all the work, and then it's going to go back to not using him, and we're all going to be upset, and they're going to be winning, and no one's going to say, there's no firing anybody when your team's winning, but it's just like, I don't know what to say anymore. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out this week, he'll be an extra in the trade.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Juan, good call. Appreciate you manning up and calling in, and go get Achane, bro.
Thanks for taking my call, Smitty. I love the show, man.
All right, man. Show loves you back. Appreciate you. Bryson, Olave and Komet for Bijan. If you like winning, go get Bijan for that value there. That's fantastic value. God, Gibbs better get fed this week. This has got to be the week. Devontae Smith and Derrick Henry for my Mostert. I mean, how do we say trade Mostert? We almost can't. Like, but this trade's interesting, Ben. I am not a Henry believer, but you know, there's a certain light you could look at this from and say, okay, makes sense. I mean, Devontae Smith, I think, does bounce back, but since Devontae Smith isn't playing well, and since Derrick Henry hasn't been playing well but has kind of survived and skated by, you're getting rid of a top 5 running back for some buy low value, but you can't really do this trade. Like, Mostert has earned more value than that, so you kind of have to say, as much as it feels like a weird no, you have to say no. You have to. Luke, appreciate you with the super Kincaid PPR 14-team league. Kincaid equals keeper, trade away. You got to keep him. I mean, Kincaid's got long-term value. Achane, absolute glory. Trade away, Achane, Mixon, Muth, Dell, Jalen Warren, get Saquon, Jacobs, TJ Hawkinson, Breda. No. Achane is worth more than Saquon or Jacobs or Hawkinson by themselves. Dell is interesting, and Mixon, not good long-term value, but I don't think I'm doing this trade. I like Achane that much. Now, I think some of the chat might disagree because Saquon's still relatively young. He's going to be the belle of the ball in the offseason. Where is he going to go? He wants to be a New York Giant, though, reportedly for life, which is so weird. Why you would want to be a Giant? Number one, they've got no quarterback. They've got no system. He wants to stay in Dogwaterville. No offense, Giants fans, but you know that it's the truth. They're not using Barkley to his capabilities. They can't. And the report came out today that he wants to be a Giant for life. And he doesn't want to be traded. There's a lot of talk about the Giants maybe trading Saquon Barkley to a contender that wants to rent him for a year so the Giants could rebuild. And they don't necessarily want to sign him to a long-term deal, or they would have already done it, right? They didn't. It's not like he's over-delivering right now anyway to where he's changed their mind. Like, oh, yeah, we definitely got to bring Saquon Barkley back after this year. They haven't even used him properly. So you've got to think, even though he doesn't want to be traded, the Giants are contemplating trading him. And like I said, even if he gets traded, he'll be the belle of the ball of the offseason, because if he gets traded without a long-term deal, which is certainly possible, he will get a long-term deal somewhere next year and be the biggest free agent running back and news story of the entire, offseason. So Saquon's absolutely a fun player to talk about for 2024. And I could see myself, saying later that Barkley side is too heavy to discredit and just brush away. But I also feel like Achane might be top 5 running back material. Also, this is not full Dynasty. This is Keeper. Keeper and Dynasty are very, 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 very different. And for that reason, I imagine there are other players on your roster you could debate keeping. Achane, final answer. If it was Dynasty, it'd be a different discussion. End of story.
You've just been Smitty.
Great question, though. But Achane to the moon, don't sell him lower than... look, again, Barkley's going to be exciting. We're going to talk about it all offseason. But he's got to go somewhere impressive. If they keep him in a Giants uniform, I don't like him there. My London and Dell for Amari. Amari's playing well enough. You got to keep him, bro. An Olave player comp. My London and Dell for Amari and Olave. I don't know what this means, Mac. You've got Amari question mark and symbol as if the sentence ended but didn't end, and Olave player comp. I don't know what this means, Mac. You're going to have to circle back around. This is gibberish to me. But Mac to the moon. Mac to the freaking moon anyway, because he's super chatting like a monster. But Mac, I don't know what we're talking about here. Daniel, appreciate you with the super chat. $5 hauler, my boy. Amari's worth more than that, Mac. So if you're getting Olave on top of it or an Olave comp, then that side's better. Plain and simple. Need a running back in flex. I'm down big because of Ridley's great game. Running back Ford and Moss and Foreman. Addison, Downs, Deontay, or Lockett. Injuries killed me. In need of a running back and a flex. I'd probably say Ford and probably Addison are your two best players here. Lockett's banged up, but he's also a good play. I don't hate that play. A running back and a flex, though, so you have to go RB. So if you have to go RB, I'm going to say Ford. Moss is intriguing. You could go Ford and Moss, and that's an intriguing, safe play, but I do believe Addison's just better, especially if it's PPR or even half PPR, but that's a tough one. This one right here from Raul, just tuning in, got offered Calvin Ridley by week 9 for Hopkins. I play that person week 9 too. Go for it or nah. I would rather have Ridley over Hopkins. And, everybody can jump ship entirely if they want. I'm not. I don't think it's me holding on to my guns. I think it's me saying he was blanketed in the Saints game like everybody said. Oh, but he's going to get blanketed by Lattimore. It's going to be an absolute, no match. No one does well against the Saints in that scenario. Nobody. So, everyone needs to chill out. He made an incredible one-handed catch. He's had 2 100-yard games this year. T-Law has been struggling. That's the real culprit here. But T-Law also has had 2 London games in all 3 of Thursday night games. 2 London games and a Thursday night game. This guy's been handed the worst schedule you could possibly have over the last 3 weeks, and he's been winning. I don't understand the panic to the degree that it's happening for Ridley. That's all. Do I understand people want to bench him? I do. But am I just blindly hanging on and just bear hugging Ridley and just not letting go? I don't think so. I think everyone's overreacting to a significant degree. And if he bounces back and has 2 back-to-back 100-yard games, let's say one of which he scores, the other he doesn't, what's everyone going to say? I just don't know why everybody's abandoning the ship entirely. You want to throw him into your 3-4 wide receiver spot and kind of contemplate, one of your popping off bench guys for him in the wide receiver 3 role. Sure, but this whole trash can emoji is what really is. I don't understand it. And what I don't understand, Bryson says I missed your super chat. I don't think I missed your super. Let's see. I will take a lap. If I missed your super chat, Bryson, I will take a lap. I think you stepped out to the restroom, Bryson, is what I'm going to guess. Your last super chat was Olave for Komet and Bijan. And I did 100% answer that question, but that's okay, Bryson. That's why I'm here. I said Bijan if you like winning, I think were my exact words. I love Olave, but Olave doesn't contend with Bijan's value. Go forward in my mind. Absolute smash. I answered your other one, Evans and Ridley for Keenan Allen. I said Keenan Allen's playing too well right now to make that trade. And Eckler, Mike Evans for CMC. I think I told you that CMC just commands a little bit more, Bryson, but I don't mind where you're headed with that. But CMC definitely is better than Eckler. And I don't know that Evans closes that gap, but you're not in the wrong head in that direction. But I love how everybody assumes that I missed the super chat, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like you missed the super chat. And Bryson, I appreciate your super chat, but everyone sounding alarms, multiple messages. Not, hey, did I miss it? It's Smitty, you missed my super chat. No, you stepped out to use the restroom, Bryson. I don't step out to use the restroom. Travis, you're live.
Hey, sorry for calling back. I'm just trying to work through this trade here. I have 18 on IR, and I have Jeff Wilson too. How do you compare Jeff Wilson with Jerome Ford right now?
Bryson to the moon. I'm just messing with you, Bryson.
To the moon.
Bryson to the moon. Thank you for your super chat, Bryson. Wilson or who is it? Jeff Wilson or who?
Jerome Ford.
That's tough because I don't know. We don't really know what Ford's role is going to be, and then we're hearing like Hunt's questionable or something, right? Is Hunt ruled out yet?
Oh, is he?
I don't know. Someone was saying that. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually news. That was someone said that. Ron Navy with the 10 gifted memberships. Appreciate Ron Navy dropping the 10 gifted. Someone said that. Someone. I don't know if someone's spreading fake news.
He's questionable with a thigh.
Yeah, I think someone was just assuming he was out there. Like Ford's out, and I read it, but I haven't seen that. Not Ford. Hunt's out is what somebody said. Yeah. But I don't see any evidence of that.
Just
give me Wilson.
Give
me Wilson.
Ford's had some rough matchups, but
give me Wilson.
So you'd lean Wilson, especially since I have Achane too. Like when he comes back, you think? Or?
Yeah, Wilson.
All right, and then the only other thing was I was going for that Kelsey for Diggs with that whole group I told you, but would I be better off if I could get like Justin Herbert and like Hollywood for Kelsey, or should I roll with like T-Law and Love and Kyler?
I'd rather have Love and Kyler than get rid of Kelsey, bro. Not you weren't. It's not like you're getting. If you get rid of Kelsey, you need to get like Tua and something significant. You know, not getting Hollywood and you're, going down to whatever. I don't like that at all. You'd have to get two.
Justin Herbert was the guy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you were to get Tua and like Olave or Devontae Smith or Lamb, like something that you believe in to be that, like that's what would make me trade Kelsey. I'm not trading Kelsey for a quarterback. You're going from Love to Herbert or K1 to Herbert, but like you're not going anywhere with that other piece. So hell no.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all then. Thanks.
All right. Later. Appreciate you, Travis. All right. Here we go. Let me get these super chats here out of the way. Young says, who can I get for Burrow? Who can I get for Ridley? Ridley, you're not getting anything for because no one values him at all right now. You're not getting anything. Try and get Gibbs right now, who's going to start this week. Like, that's what we're talking about. Ridley thrown in with something like maybe you trade Burrow and Ridley together to get, in your mind, a safer Tua or safer Jalen Hurts. Like, that's really the only thing I can think of. Burrow, I need to know what the QB needy team has. Maybe they got Devontae Smith, and they'll give you Devontae Smith for Burrow. That's the kind of move I'm making. Olave, Waddle, Aaron Jones, Swift, Bijan. Maybe you give a Burrow and Ridley for Bijan, like something similar to that. I think you need to throw Ridley in, though. I don't know that Ridley's getting you anything on his own right now. Got Moss for Jeff Wilson. Got him. Little Nicky, I'd rather have Jeff Wilson. I mean, I like Moss, but Moss is on the way down. JT's on the way up. I mean, not based on contract alone, just based on the contract, they're going to do that no matter what. I like Moss, but Jeff Wilson's going to get in there for 3 weeks and get fully fed. So I don't know. I don't like this trade. Does anybody disagree here? Anybody rather have Moss than, I mean, especially the call out for the got him. Like, did I get him? Did I get him? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think maybe he didn't get you, maybe, but I definitely feel like I feel bad, little Nicky. I appreciate little Ricky. You can call in if you need to, pal. We'll work this out. I love when people want the got 'em button and I can't do it. I'm like, I can't. I'm sorry. I know you super chatted, but I'm always honest with the question. Could Najee bounce back like Ramondre did? Like Ramondre could, you mean? I wouldn't say Ramondre bounced back yet. I'd say Ramondre may have given us a whiff of what maybe could be bounce back material. I think they both could, but Najee doesn't feel like he's going to. I feel like Najee's going to disappoint, but there's a possibility. I do like Ramondre a tad more to bounce back, but they both feel very, very risky. Ridley for Godwin Spears or Terry Spears. I could take Scary Terry and Spears for Ridley, mainly because, look, I like Spears enough, but Scary Terry's still very, very good. But I personally would probably lean Ridley myself, but I could get behind that. If you want to get out of the Ridley game, you don't believe in him, I get it. It is what it is. No problem. I got two $20 haulers by G Money and Ron Navy. Let me get these two $2 haulers out of the way so I can get right to the sets. Trade Waddle and Pacheco for Mixon or Mixon. So Pacheco or Mixon. I'm trading Mixon. So Waddle and Mixon for Lamb and Rashad White. I don't think so. I don't think on either front. Definitely not giving away Pacheco, but I like Waddle a lot. I mean, at his current value. So I'm going to say no on that. And then Bandy with the $2 says trade Lamb and Roshan for A.J. Brown. I have Hurts. Yeah, I would definitely trade for A.J. Brown, bro. Hurts doesn't really do anything. It's not best ball, so you're not stacking like in a way that. But I get it. It's fun. I do it. Smitty approved.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
17, 18, 19, 20. This one's from G Money. Hey Smitty, this team is 2-4, 10 and 10. What is this? 10 out of 12 place. Love, Fields, Gibbs, JT, Hall, Olave, Deontay, Kelsey. How do I get Mahomes on this team? I think giving Fields back to them almost for free and overpaying with Fields, like you do a deal that feels legit enough and then you throw Fields in, puts icing on the cake and it forces them to do it. So I'd probably say, I don't know. I don't think this is a team that you can get Mahomes on unless you gave up JT. And then what do you have, bro? You know, if you gave up Olave, what do you have at wide receiver? If you gave up JT, you've got just Breece Hall. I don't think there's enough to maneuver here. I mean, if you got rid of Kelsey, but then I know you want that stack, I don't think you can do it unless you get rid of JT or Hall and get a player that, like, let's say he's got Swift and he's doubting him and you're trading JT down to Swift and giving him Fields and let's say Deontay, you know what I mean? G-Money, call in for some more details on this one. I think it would be safe to do that. Don't forget to make lineup changes in Voicemail League. You have a few buys, including Burrow. We're facing each other this week. Just a friendly reminder. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate you with a 20. You didn't send me that to help me with my lineup. You wanted me to do a set.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate that. And $20 hauler from Bleezo. Mac, did you ever send in another update, Mac? I'm still waiting for you. 5-1 team. What moves to make? First of all, without even looking, broski, Bleezo, you're 5-1. You're doing good things, okay? So maybe nothing. T-Lock Kyler, you're doing okay. Skywalker Brees, love it. Bye week out of the way for Skywalker. Ramondre, maybe a piece we move. Garrett Wilson, Watson, DJ Moore, Laporta. Man, I'm thinking Ramondre bouncing back a little bit maybe gives you some wiggle room to turn DJ Moore or Garrett Wilson into a slightly safer player. Maybe Gibbs and Garrett Wilson or DJ Moore into a slightly safer player. Would I trade? Let's see. I'd be willing to bank on your RBs and say, give me Devontae. Give me Devonta Smith for Ramondre and Deontay. Give me Waddle for that. Give me Lamb, probably won't get done because he blew up. Olave. Deontay and McLaughlin for Ridley. Then you have more firepower later to maneuver for a better wide receiver if he bounces back. Those are my best ideas for your team at the current moment in time. Mac, I don't know if Mac's still here. Mac, I've been keeping your super chat up. I again don't know what this means. I'll address it one more time here, and then if you call in or something or super chat, I'll help you. But my London and Dell for Amari. Again, I'd rather have Amari. I don't know what the question mark and symbol Olave player comp means, but like a comp for Olave, if you're trying to like find a player to trade for, I would say Devontae Smith, CeeDee Lamb. Maybe Jalen Waddle is a little lesser. I don't know if that helps you. I think that's what you're asking, but I'm not positive. Bleezo says, yes, sir. Ridley and Devontae are on my list. Good, Bleezo. Appreciate you. You can dial in, too, if you need further help. Phone lines are open. 30 seconds. No one's immune. I'm sticking to this no matter who calls in. Okay, no matter who calls in. And you got 30 seconds to make your case. And then I'm hanging up on you, and you can listen to the answer on the live show. Hit me up. 30 seconds. Do it live. Cousins or Stroud rest of season. Without JJ, I'd probably say Stroud. But once JJ returns, I guess Cousins. But Will says, should I trade away Swift and Garrett Wilson for Chase? Yes. Well, I guess, yeah. I'd probably rather have Chase, but it's a really, really, really close call. There's so many guys left on waivers. Not sure who to grab. I need upside big time. This is Amy. I don't know what the question was, but I don't know. Hank from Illinois. Hank from Illinois, you are live on the show. Hank, you got 30 seconds, pal. Get it in because I'm hanging up on you after the 30. I'm being strict with this 30 seconds, guys. So get it all in. 30, go. Hank.
So I traded Kyrie and Brian Robinson for the 5-1 team, not 5-1, 1-5 team for Brees 8-foot tall.
You were breaking up. I think you said you're 8 foot tall because you traded for Brees Hall. You traded away Kyron and Brian Robinson?
Yeah.
Okay. I would rather have Brees Hall. I think there's arguments to be made here for sure. I think that there's definitely pros and cons to each side. Brian Robinson he's playing a little bit better than the average Bear and doing better than I've given him credit for. But Brees Hall is somebody that I think is on the rise clearly. Kyron could miss. He's on a scooter right now. Nothing against scooters out there for anybody that's on a scooter right now. He's on a scooter right now and got a cast. And is that Denny?
Yeah, it's me.
All right, Denny, hang tight. Hang tight. I know, Denny, you're on a scooter right now. Kyron's out a minimum of, 3 more games, but it could be longer. I'm taking Hall. He's going to do a hell of a job for you. Smash of a trade. Appreciate you, Hank. Call back if you got another question. Denny, I got to stick to the rules, Denny. You got 30 seconds, pal. And please keep it clean tonight. Please keep.
It takes me 30 seconds to say hello.
Okay, Denny, you got a little.
You got a scooter? Who's on a scooter? That's hilarious. I'm getting my ass kicked, Smitty. I got Mac Jones. I got Dan Jones. I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses, Smitty. It's not good.
Yeah, the Joneses are not doing well for you, Denny.
This is terrible. This is terrible.
Yeah, Denny, do you even remember your last phone call?
He's Denny. No, what happened? Denny.
You weren't very nice, bro.
Are you mad at me?
Well, do you even remember what you did? You started going off on a lot of the callers. You were calling them names, but you were essentially calling me names. You didn't even know it because the comment that was made came from me and you thought it came from one of the callers. And you started calling, you thought him names, but you were calling me names, which I don't care about, Denny. You've done that to me a lot lately.
You don't care. You don't let me. I'll hit you with a bicycle. No,
You're going to hit me with a bicycle?
We're fighting in the front yard right now, all right?
Okay, just behave. All I'm asking is to behave. Now, hit me with your question, and then I got to jump to the next caller because we are doing 30-second phone calls. But what's your question,
right,
Denny?
Okay, how do you feel about Uranus as a whole? No. Smitty, what are you going to do with Mac Jones? What are you going to do with Danny Jones? What are you going to do with Danny Jones? Smitty?
This is what I'm going to do.
And off he goes.
You're so mad
to
at
the
me.
planet known
Smitty,
as
forgive
Uranus.
me. All right?
Off he goes to planet Uranus. That's where Mac Jones is going, bro. That's where Danny Dimes lives. That's where Mac Jones lives. You even called it. You just talked about planet Uranus. That's where they live. That's where you've been living lately, Denny. I might add. That's kind of where you've been lately.
Yo, you used to be like, you used to be my boy. Now I'm out there playing Uranus with Danny Dimes and Mac Jones.
I wonder whose fault that is, Denny. I'm literally inviting you into my home every time phone calls happen, and you're screaming at me. You're trying to hit me with a bicycle. You're doing this and that. You're the one that's causing the friction between the karate that we should be doing right now in the garage. You're the one that pushed the bunk beds away and continues to separate the bunk beds so we can't do activities.
All I asked you to do was not touch my drum set. And tell me you didn't touch it. Tell me you didn't touch it. That's all I asked.
All right, hey, Denny, you got 30 seconds now. Go.
All right, dirty. Oh, shit, this sucks. Here's a trap. Anyone who likes to bet on sports, bet on the Patriots. You know what? Why not? Just put it on the money line against Josh Allen.
Against, yeah?
Why not, dude? Put like Danny Giants on it, It's coming from
All
Danny
right,
Giants.
Denny, the rules are the rules. 30 seconds is up. Appreciate you, pal. Call in again.
I miss you.
Somewhat miss you. Later, pal. I mean, goodness gracious. This man's going at me left and right in my comments on my show live, and he's like mad at me. Smitty, I thought you were my boy. I thought you were my boy, Smitty. G-Money gets a little bit more time because G-Money super chatted a question and I asked him to call in. G-Money, what are the details of the trade or whatever you got going on? Appreciate you.
Thanks, Eddie. I was looking to get Mahomes, try to get Mahomes on that team.
Yeah.
2 and 4, and I just think I need some help.
I just don't know you can give up, like you had Kelsey, you had, who's your RB, Hall? You have Hall.
Hall, JT, Gibbs.
And you don't have Mahomes
and
yet.
Roshan.
Yeah, right now you've got Fields, right? Fields. Yeah.
And Love.
And Love. I mean, so I would give him his choice. I mean, Fields is out, so if he feels confident in, in what other backup he has, then maybe he wants Fields. But the problem is, what running backs does he have? What wide receivers does he have?
He has his receivers are Scary Terry, Hollywood, Gabe Davis, Garrett Wilson, and his running backs are Zach Moss, ETN, and Zeke Elliott.
Yeah, so the problem is, like, if you were to trade, let's say, who's your wide receiver one?
My wide receiver one?
Yeah.
Olave.
See, I don't think you can. There's not much you can do here unless you get rid of Kelsey, and I know that's not what you want to do. You can't trade JT down into an RB. He doesn't have one. He's got ETN, and ETN's worth more than JT. ETN's worth more than Hall right now. There's no trade down for you there. The only thing you can maybe do, and I don't think he'll see this way, is like JT into Garrett Wilson or Olave into Garrett Wilson. And I don't know. And then you're doing some sort of Fields and Mahomes swap, but I don't even know if he'd do that. It's not enough of a bump. There's nothing you can do unless you give him JT for like Moss and Mahomes. But is he even going to want to do that and divide up the JT Moss situation? Probably not. Olave, like you give up Olave for that same type of package, Olave and Fields for Mahomes, like you get Gabe Davis back, maybe. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of in that. I don't know if you win with that. It's possible, but it's certainly going to be thin. But, Mahomes and Gabe Davis over Fields and Olave, I guess I do probably like that better. I guess I'd take the gamble on Gabe Davis for that. I certainly would for Garrett Wilson, but he's not going to give you Garrett Wilson. Would I do it for Terry or Hollywood? Maybe. That's the only move you have here. That's the only move you have, unless you were to give up Kelsey.
Olave, Fields for Davis, Mahomes.
Yeah, and I don't even know how great that feels. If Fields does great, then you're gonna hate it. But if Fields sucks all year, then I don't know. I think you're gonna be glad you got Mahomes and Gabe Davis, or Mahomes and Scary Terry, or Mahomes and Hollywood Brown. I just don't know if he's gonna see Olave as that big of a bump worth getting rid of Mahomes. I don't think he's gonna.
Okay. All right.
But I definitely would like that idea, though.
Thanks, Smitty.
All right, man. Appreciate you, D-Money. Some deals are just hard to work. That one's really, really hard to maneuver. Okay, back to 30 seconds. James Arthur, you're live. 30 seconds, pal.
Hey Smitty, I made a trade yesterday, and I think I got him.
You let me be the judge of that. We've had a couple. Hey, Smitty, did I get him? And the other guy got him. So you tell me.
All right, let me say it again. Yeah. So my 14-man league, half PPR, I traded Joshua Palmer and Kareem Hunt for T. Higgins.
Yeah, I think you got him on that one. I mean, Higgins is a worry, but at that value, there's nothing to be worried about. I think you got him.
Higgins will be my flex play moving forward.
I like that. I think you did good on that, pal. Nice work. All right, bro. Good work, James.
Is there any way you can help me the team, though?
Any way I can what?
Now I got 30 seconds. If you can help me on a next trade to make to improve my team.
Go ahead. You get 30 more. Go.
I got Josh Allen, Bijan Mostert, and my receivers are Keenan, Waddle, and then now T. Higgins with Andrews. I got Tua and Drake London on my bench. What running back? What running back? I can use another running back to improve my team. Who should I go after?
So you got Allen, Bijan, Mostert, Keenan Allen. Hold on, we got a $20 hauler from Denny. He's trying to apologize. Denny knows how to get back into my good graces. Denny to the moon. You, Denny. You, Denny. Denny, you little rascal, you. Okay, so you got Waddle, Keenan Allen, Tua, London, Mostert, Bijan, Allen. Who am I missing?
Mark Andrews.
Oh, yeah. It's a big one. And you want to know how to get what now?
I guess I had a running back because I just got Bijan and Mostert. I got some, non-startable running backs as my reserve if something were to happen.
Does the Achane owner by chance need anything? Like a quarterback by chance?
He does, but he won't trade with me.
He's one of those non-traders. That sucks, bro. I hate that. I hate how you could offer him like Bijan. He'd be like, no. You could offer, okay, what about Josh Allen and Bijan for Achane? No. How about my next child? No. We're just not going to do it. I'm just going to wait and see how week 10 plays out. I drafted my team for a reason. I'm just going to see how it works out for the next 18 weeks, even past week 17. I don't know, bro. I would say your team's very well balanced, and you have to get rid of Tua or Josh Allen in a 1 QB league. That is your negative here. That is what's holding you back. You've got Tua and Allen, and you're just struggling with who to start each week. You're just leaving that value on the table. Your lineup could use it. You could upgrade you could upgrade really anything with that. I mean, there's still players that you could upgrade at every single position, like Kelsey from Andrews, Bijan to CMC, Keenan Allen to Diggs, Waddle to, Diggs or St. Brown. Like, you could upgrade any one of these guys using Tua. So just go take stabs. And if you need a running back, Aaron Jones is pretty cheap right now, and I don't. It's not crazy to trade Tua for Swift or Aaron Jones or I wish you could get Achane. ETN's probably off the table. Tua for Breece Hall. Those are all good potential moves. Appreciate you. Got to run, pal. I think you got enough to go get something done. Come back, report back. Jay, you got 30 seconds, pal. Appreciate your super chat earlier.
Thanks, Smitty. Rest of season rankings for you. Breece Hall, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift.
This one's tough because we're assuming that Monty doesn't come back right away, and we're assuming Monty does. Like, we're making an assumption. So I hate to be wishy-washy here, but clearly what happens with Monty is going to affect his ranking. So Hall's the clear one. This is where it's just ambiguous. I mean, I'd probably say right now I'm going to go Swift and Monty because I don't know that I want to miss 2-3 games, whatever. But if Monty comes back after one game, he's better than Swift. But they're arguable. But I think Swift, there's still a little bit of like, do we sell Swift now? You know, like we loved him. He's been really good. He's done his job. And if I can get rid of him for St. Brown, Olave, Lamb, Brees Hall, maybe even Aaron Jones, definitely in a Bijan, upgrade to Bijan for Achane. I'm trading Swift for that. So like, Monty's also been hurt twice now, and they aren't worried about him. They aren't worried about him at all. Dan Campbell's like, Monty comes back, we're gonna give him 45 carries. We need to do it. Oh, Gibbs? Oh, let's put Gibbs in a stroller and give him a binky. And we gotta be really careful with Gibbs because we might use him in 2027. Why are they even worried about Gibbs? I don't even understand. Why would you be worried about breaking somebody you don't plan on playing? I don't understand it at all. It doesn't make any sense. Neither here nor there. But all I'm saying is when Monty comes back, they maybe break him again. But I don't know. That one's tough. That one comes down to when he comes back. All right,
Smitty,
Jay.
You're the best. Smitty, you're the best. I just wanted to give you your flower. You were 100% right on that Kamara take you had beginning of the season. So I want to give you your flowers.
I needed to be right on a few things because we were right. We were wrong on a few things. So
no, you've been right a lot. Don't.
I get it. I appreciate it. Pat on the back, but I'm one that's hard on myself, so I appreciate it. But we'll every day I plan to do better than the next day. That's always my goal, and we just got to hit a couple. We need a couple breaks here this week in terms of this this bullshit. It's constant garbage. All right, later, Jay. Appreciate you though.
Thank you.
TM42.
Yeah, two things. Would you drop Evans for Foreman and grade the traded Andrews for Bijan?
Andrews for Bijan, arguable. I take Bijan, but very arguable. And did you just ask me, am I dropping Mike Evans?
No, Zach Evans.
Oh, thank God, bro. I was this close to hitting that button and not even hearing you clarify that. So thank goodness I didn't. Okay, Zach Evans for who was it? Foreman?
For Foreman.
I would probably go. Look, that one's tough. I'd probably say give me Zach Evans, but we don't really know how it's going to shake out. But what we do know is that if you look at Kyren, is Kyren really as good as Kyren's been playing? I will say that if anybody's followed me for years, especially not this year, but last year, and especially not this past offseason, but the offseason prior, I was high on Kyren Williams. I don't know if anybody remembers the videos I put out on Kyren saying, watch out for this guy. He's going to take Cam Akers' job. And then Kyren got hurt. And I was like, son of a... And so, a guy gets hurt, burns you. You tend to not really always follow the same track again. So I admittedly didn't have a lot on Kyren this offseason. I'm fully admitting that right now. But I was super high on Kyren the year prior. And so let me just put that out there by saying that Kyren's not a like one hit wonder, 1 year wonder, like came out of nowhere. I did like him a lot, and I thought he was going to take Akers' job. And then what happened? McVay puts him in, over waters the plant. He gets injured. He gets overfed. Same thing's happening with Puka Nacua right now. Same thing happened and will probably happen again with Cooper Kupp. It's just overwatering of the plants. He can't. It's just constant. Him and Stafford together just so like you got to ask yourself. Even though I love Kyren, how much of it is Kyren and how much of it is situation? And so if, let's say, they feed Zach Evans the same amount, Zach Evans is going to go out there and have a nice game. Like I just don't know if they're going to divide it up. Will it be, who will it be? We don't know. But Zach Evans looks to be.
over there.
He feeds them. They produce no matter what. Doesn't matter, and you can't separate situation from player. So that's my point. My point is Zach Evans might play ball, bro. So I'd take the gamble on the offense versus the player. And Foreman's not even like a player where like, oh, he's the better player. I don't know he's a better player than Zach Evans. We have no idea.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see.
All right, later, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah. Denny, I see that you just dropped another $20 hauler from Denny. Is that your second one, Denny?
Yeah, I got 40, kid.
You what?
That's how much I
To
love
the
it.
moon.
Yeah, I dropped 40.
You dropped 40. That's
Yeah, they can all get mad at me. But
that's
you
the
know what?
Denny I know.
I love that shit.
That's the Denny I know. Denny, you
Yeah.
always have a home here, but sometimes you can get a little bit unhinged, and I have to like disconnect the line. I have to you can't take that personally. You got to come in fresh the next week, the next day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How'd I
Like
do today? Yeah.
you did. I was hard on you. You dropped $40. You came right back into the fold.
I love it, dude. Hey, do you want to do karate in the
I
in the
do.
garage?
I do. I do want to do some karate in the garage. I would like that.
I got 2 weeks, right? Monty in one, Monty in both, and mixing in both. Just losing everything. I can't stand it, dude. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I just get my ass handed to me.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Hey, Denny, hang tight real quick. I'll leave you on the phone line right now. Don't abuse the privilege. Mute for me real quick. TM42, let me get TM42's question out of the way. Then I got some super chats lined up, and I need to get through those. I got XDS. I've got Demetrios. I've got, thank you again for your other $20 hauler, Denny. I got James, and I got Alex with the $20 hauler. So TM42, you got 30 seconds. You got 30 seconons, pal. What can I do for you?
Smitty, I'm just listening.
Oh, you don't have a question?
All right, who's this dude?
You just you dialed in to listen.
No, you answered my question already.
Oh, I did? What was the question?
Yeah, I was the Zach Evans Foreman question.
Oh, my bad. Okay. All right. Hang tight. Hold. What'd you say, Denny?
No, I was just asking for his question because he seems like a nice guy.
Look at Denny. Denny trying to do good. Denny. You're a nice guy.
I know. I get so mad sometimes.
You do.
I'm just
All
trying to get back.
All right, hang tight. Both of you hang tight real quick. XDS says $5 hauler. God squad, now a hospital squad. I got Hurts, Fields, Burrow, Gibbs, Kyron, Brees Hall, Achan, Mason, JJ, Ridley. Bro, you got blasted. DJ Moore gets blasted by the Fields. God, that your team was on fire. I assume you start 2 QBs. So if you don't, been trying to trade QBs. If you don't, man, you've been sitting on those 3 QBs all year too. Fields with the value he's had, and then now you're not going to get anything for him. Yeah, keep trying to trade the QBs, but I don't know that you can do much here other than try and trade JJ away and get some value right now. But, man, if you could stay afloat and JJ and Achan come back and, Hurts will fire off. Gibbs is about to. Kyron will be back. Brees Hall will step up in the meantime. Ridley will bounce back, I think, to a significant degree. If you could stay afloat, you'll be fine. But, of course, I keep trying to trade a QB. And the guys that are good buy lows right now, I've got those on screen right now if you need any guys. I mean, Bijan's obviously really good to go get. Devontae Smith, Mahomes, Tua, Hurts you have. Mahomes you don't need because you have Hurts. Gibbs, and then Hall, you can't really buy him low, but he's still a good player to go buy if you need a running back and you got a lot of depth, especially if you're giving up JJ for Hall and a wide receiver. I love Devontae Smith. I love Aaron Jones injured right now for your situation, even though you're the all injury squad. He might step up in the nick of time for you. So appreciate your super chat. Demetrios with a $10 hauler. Demetrios, appreciate you, my my man. Smitty, non-PPR starters are Goff, Foreman, Najee, Harris, Mostert, Amon-Ra, Flowers, Goddard. Defense is the Browns D. Kicker, Moody. Bench, Stafford, Curtis Samuel. Rest of my team's on a bye. Keep it as is. Thanks. I'm trying to trade Najee any chance I get, bro. Even if it's trading Najee away for free to just, not free, but to upgrade Goff into Tua. Something like that. Najee, I'd do that in a millisecond. I don't know that there's much else to do. I'm not trading Mostert unless I'm selling him extremely high. Maybe you have Achane, but I'd love to get Achane. I'd even start Mostert and Achane together once they're back. That's a formidable duo. Both top 7 running backs is crazy. That offense is insane. And I don't know that there's much trade pieces anywhere other than Najee and Goff for that slight quarterback upgrade, or Najee and something like Flowers to get an injured Aaron Jones or a Swift, or I highly doubt you get Bijan, but you never know. Those are the only moves that can really be made, to be honest, looking at that squad off the top of my head, off the top of my dome. James with a $10 hauler. Thank you, Demetrios, for your super chat as well. Demetrios to the moon. And that one's for James. James, appreciate you. James says, hey, Smitty, what's good? 10-man PPR, Mahomes, Josh Allen, Love, Pacheco, Kamara, Stevenson, Pollard, DJ Moore, Hopkins, JSN, Kelsey, Laporta, Moody. I'm 4-2. Any moves? I assume you're playing in a 2-quarterback league because you got Josh Allen and Mahomes. If not, I don't know what in the hell you were thinking. But if you've got those 2 guys in a 2 QB league, you're living large. Do I trade Love away in a 2 QB league? Not necessarily, because of the bye weeks and how advantageous that is, but it also could buy you a whole heck of a lot if you were to trade Love and Stevenson. And because your running backs are, well, you could use an RB, you could use an HN, you could use a Breece Hall, you could use a Bijan on the cheap. I would definitely go after all those guys using Love and potentially Stevenson. But I'd also use Hopkins and Love to try and go get a wide receiver like St. Brown or Olave or Cup or Devontae Smith or Lamb, or potentially even Waddle for Love straight up, something like that. I think the quarterback alone like Love could get you Waddle, could get you Devontae Smith, could get you Olave without any other additional pieces, unless it was like Downs or something like that. So very, 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 very good squad. Then we got a $20 hauler here from Alex coming in strong. Alex, 20 wad, says real estate. Mashed potatoes. Yeah, hold on. I got to do a 20 wad. Hang tight, Denny. Stay silent, please.
Alert. Super chat alert. Alert. Super chat alert.
Denny, stop. You're making me laugh, Denny. I'm trying to get a set in, trying to get a pump in, Denny.
Hey,
Finish him.
You want to do karate in the garage? Or,
I didn't mean to hit
what
that.
do you want to do?
I do. Hang tight. 2 QB Superflex, full PPR. I'm 2-4. I have Fields, Geno, Hall, Gibbs, Pierce, Hill, Olave, Ridley, Watson, Andrews. Just traded Andrews for Puka, Henry, and Spears.
Ooh,
yeah. I also.
Just a lot to.
I mean, look, Puka alone for Andrews is arguable. So you're getting Henry. I mean, I don't hate it, and especially if he gets traded. Also, trade my Hill plus Pierce for A.J. Brown and Pollard or Walker. Wow. So anybody that says don't trade Hill ever, don't trade Christian McCaffrey ever. I mean, Hill for A.J. Brown and Pollard, or A.J. Brown and Walker. Walker's at his bye week already. Tough schedule, but I would take Walker and A.J. Brown over Hill. Would the chat disagree?
I'm with you on that.
That's pretty good. That other trade I like too. I think you did good, Alex. I like all these moves. And my next move for you is to get a better quarterback in a 2 QB league, which is hard to do. But as I said earlier, Mahomes, Hurts, Tua, even Burrow, those guys won't be cheaper as we move along. They'll only get more expensive. So the fact that you got a free Derrick Henry in some respects for Puka, Andrews and Puka trade, I would maybe try and throw Henry in with a Fields to get Mahomes. Henry in with a Fields to get like Hurts or something. I think that Henry is free. It's the house's money, and that's kind of how I look at it. Denny, again, I'm coming across your $20 hauler. Denny to the moon. Mashed potatoes, Denny. Appreciate you. I got to do...
boy. Yeah, no. I think that kid's going to make some... I hope it's not a dynasty. You know what? I think dynasty sucks. I'm starting to really think that. You know what I mean, Smitty?
No.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Because people stop backing out when it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Good for them.
I could get behind that. I see what you're saying. I talk about that all the time. People quit on Dynasty. It sucks, bro. But you can, the way around that, you get people to pay a year in advance, and nobody wants to walk away from a $100 entry fee that they haven't even used yet. So the commissioner can really put together a team that won't crumble. And then that $100, if somebody walks away, you give that $100 to the next owner as a free entry fee. And you say, look, you get to play for free in year one. They got to pay a year in advance as well. What?
Oh, my neighbor just came by. He says, I'll get you some beers tomorrow.
Okay.
It's funny,
All right.
We live in this tight neighborhood, yeah.
Yeah.
He said, I'll get you some beers tomorrow. I don't need beers, but I'm the guy in the neighborhood, Smitty.
All right.
He gives everybody beers if they need.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
All right, Denny, hang tight real quick. Max says Jerome Ford has a great schedule, top 15 running back rest of season. Mac, I don't know if I'd go that far, bro. I do like him. I think he's undervalued, but I don't know that I would call him a top 15 running back rest of season. Rocket ship eyeball emoji with the thinking. I think that's a little. I think there's some potential that he dances in there, but there's also, the Kareem Hunt situation. Cleveland's kind of up and down, but I would say there's some logic behind that, and I don't mind it. Like, you're in a bind and he's your running back too, but you're stacked everywhere else. I'm okay with it. I think it's not crazy, Mac. I don't think it's insane. Would you trade Puka for Patrick Mahomes? I would absolutely trade Puka for Patrick Mahomes. It depends on if you've got Tua or Hurts or something, but if you don't, even if you had Fields or T-Law or Love, I would take Patrick Mahomes. That's league winning, my guy. And Irvin with a super chat, $5 hauler. Have Josh Allen, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Gibbs,
nice
Andrews,
boy.
Flowers
Good boy.
as my starters. Is this a championship team? PPR, what changes to make? I mean, look, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Andrews, Josh Allen, definitely a championship team. Definitely capable of it.
Adams is going to slow you down.
You just need to keep your eyes peeled for Adams trades, Devontae Adams trades, but only if it fits, and looks good. Aaron Jones, you do need to step up, and if he does, I think you're going to be taking this to the promised land. The only thing I caution people on Adams is he's so frustrated. If he doesn't get traded, and I don't think they want to trade him, if he doesn't get traded by Halloween night, the deadline, which is like 11 days away, he could be somebody that gives up on the year and sits out like the last 3 or 4 weeks with a little knick-knack injury because he's looking for his future. He doesn't want to play for this team. He keeps dogging them on the podium during press interviews every other week. Like, they're not trying. We need to do better. He doesn't want to play for the Raiders. I said this all offseason long. But where I was wrong was he's still producing well. But it's still, my advice should have been draft him and then trade him before he, takes off the final 4 weeks of the season at the end of the year. But he has played well, but that's the way I feel about Devontae Adams is like, at what point does he just give up? And say, I don't want to put my body on the line here. These hospital balls, that hospital ball Jimmy threw to him the other day, it was almost like everything buckled on him when he grabbed the ball, and he just looked disgusted. He's like, what was that throw, Jimmy? What are you doing to me?
Schmidt, can I say something?
Great team, Irvin. Great team, Irvin.
Can I say something?
Yeah, Denny.
All right. So, that team, right? So the Pats traded off that dude. Oh man, that dude.
What
Give me a
dude and
second.
what are you talking about, Denny?
No, sweetie, listen to me.
Don't call me sweetie.
Sweetie, no, I'll call you sweetie. If I call you sweetie, that means I love you. No, the one the Pats traded away.
Off he goes to the planet known as Europe.
Jacoby Myers, right? We traded him away. He's the only one. No, you hit it. I mean, no disrespect, but he's the only one on the team that can catch one that hit his hands, right?
What's he talking about?
And we traded him away. God, he's just catching
What's he
passes
talking about?
left and right. He's the best thing we ever had, Smitty, you know? But we traded him away, you know? The Pats are really pissing me off these days.
Yeah, I mean.
I know.
All right, hey, Denny, I got to let you go because I'm leaving. No disrespect to you, but I got to go. I appreciate you very much.
Right.
Thank you for the $20 haulers times 2. You to the moon. Let's send Denny to the moon one more time.
To the moon.
Let's do a standing. Let's do a mashed potato one more time for Denny. Okay. You want a mashed potato? You want a mashed potato?
Can I say it myself?
Go.
Mashed potatoes!
Appreciate.
Oh, okay.
All right, Denny. Appreciate you.
All right, yeah.
Later, pal.
All right, Smitty, you my boy, yeah. I'm sorry for anything I ever said bad.
It's all right. I have thick skin. Later.
Have a good night. I love all you guys.
Can I get a that Chandelier song by Sia? You know, Elastic Heart. The Chandelier song.
Hold on a second.
I don't want you to play it. I want you to sing it. I want you to say Smitty's got thick skin and elastic heart.
Smitty's got thick skin and electric heart. I don't even know what the hell song is this, but I know a lot of songs. Hey, you know what the best song I ever heard was?
What?
The best song I ever heard was...
Sing it. I don't want you to tell me. I want you to sing it.
I don't know that one.
Give me a second.
Sing it. Don't play the actual song. We can't have that on here. We're waiting.
Under my thumb, there's a squirmy dog who once had her day. Under my thumb, there's the sweetest girl, got her way. It's down to me, the way she talks, just what she told down to me. The way it comes, she's under my thumb. All right. You ready to rip? That's a Rolling Stone song.
Denny on the way out drops the mic. Denny, appreciate you. Later, pal. Thank you for singing.
Uptown, baby. Love you.
Donnie Bravo, you got 30, and that's it. Donnie Bravo, 24 seconds.
Hey, sorry. Hey, Smitty. I got offered Pacheco and AJ Brown for Bijan and CD. I currently have Pollard, so I'm trying to get rid of CD. Would you accept that trade?
I want this Bijan CD side by quite a bit. So no.
Okay.
I think you're trying to force it. You're trying to move something. Just who cares if you got CD and Pollard? I get it. I understand it, but like at the end of the day, I'm not going to be making a downgrade. You know what I mean?
Because you like Bijan more than Pacheco, right?
Yep. I mean, anything can happen, and Pacheco, they were both preseason moon men, so I like both of them, but Pacheco's on fire right now, and he's looking great, and AJB is as well, but I think I'd go Bijan CD. Let's see what the chat thinks. Can the chat vote on this one? Does the chat feel that Pacheco and AJB are better, or are we going Bijan CD? Let's see. Take a look at the chat, Donnie, and see what the chat says, and let that kind of sway you. But right now, I'm leaning Bijan CD, but it isn't crazy, bro, to go the other way.
What about Brees and Diggs?
Brees and Diggs.
For Bijan CD.
Yeah.
Yeah, like to do that one instead.
Bro, that's like asking me, do I want this, bag of silver or a pot of gold? Well, silver is going up in value, but let's.
So for that one, you lean Brees and Diggs, right?
Well, I mean, just look at it from this perspective, bro. Diggs crushes everybody involved, and Hall is equal to either one of these guys. So you're winning all sides of the trade.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be hitting the got him button if you pulled that off.
Do you like Keenan or no?
Yeah, I mean, look, he outperformed my expectation, and I admitted that. I've taken laps on that, but I don't know that. It depends what we're talking about. Are he and CD very close? Yeah, I do believe CD's gonna have a really good year. Do I think Diggs is better than Keenan Allen? I do. I think Keenan Allen on our stock market voting came in. Where's Keenan Allen? He came in at wide receiver 7. That's respectable, but like right near him at wide receiver 10, or no, hold on. Wide receiver 12 was Puka. Adams was 8. CeeDee Lamb tied at 8. So Keenan Allen was 7. CeeDee Lamb was number 8.
Okay. And
all right, last one, and I gotta roll. What?
I actually traded Walker because I lost Fields and there wasn't a solid quarterback that I could have, just held on to until Fields was back. So I actually had to trade Walker for Burrow and Pollard. Do you think I won that trade?
Walker for Burrow? Yeah. I mean, if you needed a quarterback badly, Pollard is still very, very solid. Yes. I like that. Nice work. And I love Walker.
Right.
I love Walker, but Burrow, you needed a QB. It's not bad. All right, later, bro.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, appreciate you. Brian Stone says, Smitty, would you trade 2 sets of resistant bands for a set of dumbbells? I like them. I like them both. They both have their advantages, bro. And I even have these plates right here. Like this is a 25. We don't necessarily need to roll with the 25. We can roll with a 45. And they all kind of do different things. So I'm going to do this while I read the rest of these chats. I got Isaiah. Thank you, Brian Stone, for the super chat. Traded Brees, Gabe Davis, Tyler Lockett, and Zach Moss for CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and Aaron Jones. I traded Brees, Gabe Davis, and Tyler Lockett, and Zach Moss. As much as I hate trading away, I'm going to break this chair. I lean back too much. As much as I love Brees Hall, bro, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and Aaron Jones crushes. That deal is phenomenal, bro. You crushed it on that deal. That boy, trade J.J. London, Flowers, Ritter for K9, Walker, and Mac Jones. I don't know if you meant to word it this way, but you have 2 players. You have 2 players on this that I don't know that you meant to write it that way. K9, comma, Walker, and Mac Jones. I don't know if you messed up writing that. So, you want to clarify that one for me, that boy? I'll look at the chat for you. I don't know if you meant to put a 3rd player in here. But J.J. London, Flowers, Ritter for Walker, and Mac Jones. I'd probably rather have the Walker side. So if you got somebody in addition, like is that K1? Like Kyler Murray and Walker? 941 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from? (941) caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
A couple times.
Oh,
So
what's
I'm just
going
I
on?
think I messed up my team big time.
You what?
I messed up my team. It's my first year playing. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, I have one guy that's good, Barkley. And I keep picking up people on the waiver wire, and it's like somebody gets hurt, somebody's injured. So I'm just trying to figure out what my next move is.
So read
I've
your
got
team
Rice.
off.
So right now I've got London, Rice, Laporta, Gibbs, and then Pickens. Collins is obviously by Thielen, Johnson, Palmer.
All right,
Downs,
hold
and
on
then,
1 second. You got
Williams
Rasheed.
is injured.
Let me write it down. You got Rasheed Rice, London, Laporta, Pickens.
Gibbs.
Okay.
Did you write that down? Barkley, Monty. Did you get London? And
Yeah.
then I got Pickens, Collins, Thielen, Johnson,
Quarterback.
Downs, and then Williams. And nobody trades. I've tried everything. Nobody trades on my team.
And who's your
And,
quarterback?
there's so much in waiver wire,
Who's your quarterback?
so I'm trying to figure it out. Go ahead.
Who's your quarterback?
My quarterback's Tua, and then my other one's Lawrence.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, if no one trades, it's tough. I mean, and Gibbs and Monty getting hurt sucks. Did you have another wide receiver go down?
I think I might. Let me see who I got wide receiver. I don't think so. Other than no, I dropped out. I probably shouldn't have, but I needed to pick up somebody that could play.
Yeah. Does anybody have any advice on this team? I guess I would say, like, if you can't make trades, I don't know what we can do, but I would keep trying to trade Barkley.
I mean, there's like Hunt, Warren, McLaughlin, Evans, Foreman. Do I pick any of them up and play?
Evans
because
is-
they're injured.
I mean, Zach Evans is pretty interesting this week. I like that. You said who were the wide receivers available?
You got Reynolds, Mason, McKinnon, Wilson, Freeman, Charbonnet, which
Trade Barkley. Pickens, London for Sun God.
I just need upside. I need upside. I'm 3-3, so I've made it, believe it or not, through these guys, which is amazing. But I just need upside.
Who are your
Even
worst?
if I take a chance.
Who are your worst three players? You named all these players, but like, who are the worst three that maybe you didn't, that I don't have on here, that you maybe didn't list? I'm trying to think who could drop for Zach Evans, but I would take Zach.
My worst probably could be. I would think maybe Palmer. You know, Pickens is hit or miss.
I would drop Palmer for Zach Evans, and I'd do that right away because, as we were talking earlier, the McVay just feeds his running backs. Monty on the move. Monty move Barkley. If you can trade Barkley, both those guys should be traded if you can. I don't know what you'd get. Like, what's your record right now? You said
3-3.
You can kind of afford to take that gamble on like Achane. I would love for this team to trade Barkley for Achane and Devontae Smith, or Achane and Waddle, or Achane and, I mean, Debo's a great player to go get right now. Kyron is a good player to get, given you'd have Zach Evans, so you could potentially trade like Barkley for Kyron, and let's say they had Ridley and they wanted to get rid of Ridley so cheap right now, you could get that. I think those are probably the best moves you could make. Go after Kyron.
It's a 10-man, so like everybody has good players, so they're just benching the good players. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, then it's going to be tough. I'd say then Zach Evans is your hope for right now. But if you can't make any trades at all, then I don't know how to rebound this team. But I mean, you just got to hope that London.
So pick up Evans and dump Palmer.
Palmer, yeah, that'd be a good play this week. But Gibbs and Barkley are you start those guys on a regular basis right now. Assuming Gibbs is starting, and it looks like he will.
What about London? London this week?
You got to play Rice and London and Laporta this week. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you have a flex? Then you could play 3 running backs and 2 wide receivers, or is it 3 running backs and 3 wide receivers?
2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and then you got a flex.
And a flex, yeah. So like Zach Evans and Pickens would be your dilemma, and I don't really know which one I would go yet. Maybe that's to be announced. I think we got to hear more about the pecking order in that Rams situation. Like, does Zach Evans get a bulk of the work?
Right.
If he does, then that's a pretty good play, given how much Kyron's been being fed, given how good Ronnie Rivers even looked when they fed him. So I think I would still try and trade for Kyron. I know you're kind of losing hope for trades, but and maybe reach out in different ways, like sending a blind offer they might not even check, but if you're able to like email them or text them, or I don't know if this is a work league or
Yeah, I can text them.
Yeah, I would say, hey, let's do a trade. Don't just say, what do you want for Kyron? Be like, hey, do you want to make a trade? They might be like, sure. Like, what were you thinking?
Right.
And then just try and get Kyron, because Kyron's injured right now. I can't imagine somebody being like, no, I want to keep him. He's hurt. Like, you could try your best to trade, for him and then get that additional player. But you can't just get Kyron for like Monty or something like that, or Pickens. But I mean, Pickens you could.
Are you saying Kyron Williams?
Huh?
Are you saying Kyron Williams?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Kyron Williams?
yeah. Like, you don't want to trade.
I have him.
Oh, you have Kyron.
Yeah, he's on my IR though.
Okay, yeah, I didn't hear you say that.
Sorry, yeah, I got Kyron.
Okay, perfect. So that's good. So you need Zach Moss more. You definitely need Zach Moss. Okay,
Yeah,
so things are looking a little better. I would go to, given that you have Kyron, given you're going to have Zach Evans, I would try, all you really need to do at this point, given you've got Monty, Gibbs, Barkley, Kyron, Zach Evans, you just need to get that Devontae Smith, Olave, or a free Ridley, using something. And then I think you're set. You just need to try your hardest to get one trade done to get that wide receiver.
Do you think I should maybe try Ridley? Because I mean, somebody
Yes.
actually may give.
I would take you take the chance on Ridley. You get Kyron back, and Ridley starts popping off. This team definitely could take care of the rest. I think you'd be good. That would be the one move. Get Ridley for cheap. Pickens, I'd do Pickens straight up for Ridley, honestly. Just because it'd be worth the gamble.
Right, I agree. Okay, cool.
All right,
Awesome.
thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for all the super chats.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, I am done with phone calls for the moment. I gotta hit these super chats, then I gotta roll because it is super late here, and I gotta get going here. We did have the buy low show. This is all the players on screen. Check that out. That boy says trade JJ, London, Flowers, Ritter for K9 Walker. Did you clarify this? That boy, let me go see if you did clarify this in the chat. That boy, did he respond? K9 and Puka, sorry. Okay, so this is Puka. Let me edit this message, which I can do. And that way we can look at it properly. So K9, or we'll put Puka. Puka. All right, so now it is JJ for Puka, Walker, home run. I mean, I kind of liked it for just Walker. So you throw Puka in, and that's a freaking slam dunk, bro. You did a great job on that trade. Nice job. Irvin, T. Higgins, and Kenneth Walker for Tay Adams. I'm sorry. Higgins and Kenneth Walker for Tay Adams. I'd rather have Higgins and K. Walker. What to get for Tay Adams? Okay, so you're trying to trade for Tay Adams. I don't like that. I'd rather keep T. Higgins and K9. K9 to me, with the bye week out of the way, is worth more than Adams. So I would trade T. Higgins in another piece, but I don't want to send Walker for Adams personally. I like Adams a lot, obviously, but as I said earlier, I'm a little scared of what that looks like in week 14, 15, 16. How motivated is he to play through a knick-knack injury? $10 hauler from that boy. Appreciate you.
To the moon.
And I answer your other one. And so this one is 2 QB, 3 wide receiver, mandatory. I was like, Mando. What's mandatory? Okay, Mandalorian. 1 and 5. Just traded JJ Flowers. Oh, that was the same one. That was my bad. I kept that on there for a reason because I had not answered it fully, I think. Okay, that's it. That's all she wrote. Alex with the final super chat. Alex says, Ertz or Komet. I'm going to go probably Ertz for right now. Gibbs or Pacheco. You got to go Pacheco right now, but Gibbs season might happen this week. We're hoping, bro, but Pacheco's doing really well. You can't not want to start Pacheco right now. He's on fire. I'll see you all later. Maybe later tonight. We might do a Dynasty show tonight, potentially. Broom says, Smitty, just want to say you're killing it this season. The hustle and commitment is next level. Thank you. Appreciate all your support. Appreciate every single one of you. And hit that like on the way out if you want to help the show out. There's 189 thumbs up and still, near 300 of you in here. So please punch that thumb up. I will see you all later. Appreciate you. And thank you to all my $20 haulers out there tonight. We had several of you. We had Ricardo Oscar with a $50 hauler. Ricardo Robert Mitchell with a $20 hauler. G Money with a 20. Ron Navy with a 20. Belizo with a 20. Denny with a 20. Alex with a 20. Denny with a 20. Appreciate every single one of you. I'm live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is what this show is right now. We've been here for almost 3 hours. And I will see you all later. And XDS with the final super chat says 10 team standard premium Josh Allen. Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Bijan Kamara, ETN, Debo, AMB. I think that's AJB, I assume. Olave, Rice, Godwin, Musgrave, Kincaid. Okay, that's a good team. If you're asking me what to trade or what to do, I'd say, look, I mean, you got an amazing squad. I don't know that I'm messing with it, to be frank, bro. Like, try to trade Jordan Love, maybe? Upgrade Rice or Godwin to a Devontae Smith, to a Olave. Trade Godwin for Ridley straight up. Trade Love for Ridley straight up. Trade for Waddle using Godwin and Love, potentially. Go after Laporta using Musgrave and Love if they need a quarterback, or Godwin and Musgrave. Just a few ideas. Appreciate you, XDS. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Deuces, everybody. See you tomorrow, maybe tonight on the Dynasty channel. And thank you, Mod Squad.
Get breached.